What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing? Welcome to RossonARI TV. Today we are talking about AC Milan. Yes, big news. Lots of things to talk about today. Obviously, Euro. What happened with the Euro today? We'll talk about that because we have some AC Milan players in the Euro to talk about. Then this report about Leão and HILAL, which had already appeared, I think, about 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. Then the continuous reports of CHIESA, who seems to be on his way out of Juventus, and it looks like the media is pushing Chiesa out of Juve, and that's something to discuss. It seems like it could be a good deal. We can discuss that for sure. Then there's another thing that has come up regarding Newcastle. Tomori Fortunali. That's a big one right there. Tomori Fortunali. Who would do that? We will talk about all of this good stuff. But let's start with Al Hilal prepares 175 million algorithm money balls for Leão, as Milan referred to 175 million clause. Again, these are reports that are very strange. They are reports that don't really have a concrete source. And I wonder if these reports that come out without real concrete sources are not reports that are the ones that the club is paying a PR company or a media company or a press company to publish through the websites, etc., or it's something completely made up. It's one of those things. The direct source is a little bit anonymous. But anyway, ahead of the Mercato opening at the end of the month, a report has suggested that a Saudi Arabian club is preparing an outstanding offer for AC Milan star Rafael Leão. Interest in stars is always expected, but whether a club will be able to afford the players in question is always okay. And who gives a shit, man? I'm not here to fucking read a damn story, man. Let's get straight to the meat and potatoes of this. What the fuck? However, there's now an interested party. Okay, it's pointless. Let's just talk about what's happening here. So, this is the situation. The position of the Rossoneri is clear. If a club wants to buy Leão, they will be told the same as other interested parties. You must pay the release clause inserted into the Portuguese winger contract. Anything else will not be taken into account. If this is the position that Milan has, they're saying, hey, if you want to pay the release clause, go for it. It's in the contract. We have no say. So, the release clause is there. If you activate the release clause, we're out of the picture. Good luck. Talk to Leão. See what he wants to do. And again, weird messaging from Milan, messaging that I think is strange because either it never really gets corrected definitively in the media by a Furlani or by an Ibra, but it's always very vague. But here the messaging seems to be, if I am understanding this correctly, this seems to me like Milan is telling the world, hey, Leão is up for grabs. You want to get him? This is the release clause, 175 million. Okay, that's it. There's nothing Milan can do about it. So now Al Hilal is the team in question. We know that the Saudi league has a lot of money right now, and they are going to invest really big, especially in this period, to bring up the level of the league in Saudi Arabia. And there's more to it. There's more to Saudi Arabia. There's more to it than just football. But anyway, so it is not far-fetched that a club like Al Hilal will activate that release clause. So it really comes down to Leão, what he will want to do. At that point, Milan is out of the picture. Once that release clause is activated, Milan is out of the room. Now, the only two parties negotiating are the player and the club in question. I mean, Milan is in a good position. They're not in the room. They're on the way to the bank to deposit a mean check. So, there is. It's not the end of the world. That's, I'm pretty sure they're happy if they have a 175 million check to deposit in the bank. That is insane. That's an insane amount of money. You can fund two markets with that kind of money. That's enough for the next two markets. You can build a super team with that kind of money in one market. So at the end of the day, it's not like if Milan gets caught in this situation, it's the end of the world. Obviously 175 million for Leão is a lot of money. Is he worth that money? Would you pay it up front? That's tough question. I don't know if he's worth that much money, but the release clause is different. The release, I mean, KC had a release clause of 500 million, guys. They some of the Barcelona players have release clause of a billion. I'm not even joking. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is true. So whatever, release clauses are just these crazy numbers that they put together. Regardless, the possibilities of this happening, I think, let's evaluate the possibilities of this happening. If Al-Hilal comes and activates the release clause, okay, fine. Now it's up to the player. So the real thing that we got to talk about here is Leão. What would Leão choose? Will Leão choose to stay at Milan and continue his career at Milan and maybe see if another team comes and gets him, a European team, or if Milan is going to grow into a bigger team that tries to compete for the Champions League, for the Serie A? Or does he go and accept this mega offer that the Saudis are going to give him, which the incentive is, hey, look, if you stay in Europe in 4 or 5 years, your bank account will have 40 million plus. You'll have plus 40 million. But if you come to Saudi Arabia in 4 years, your bank account will be plus 200 million, So the amount of money they offer the players varies. I don't know. I find it very difficult to refuse those kind of offers, because that kind of the money that they are offering in Saudi Arabia, is the numbers are astronomical. 25 million a season, 30 million a season net. This is all money that goes into your bank account. Like you become extraordinarily rich if you go and play in Saudi Arabia right now and you get one of those contracts. So this is a very difficult thing to understand. If a player decides to go for that, or they decide to, hey, no, I want to fight in Europe and make my name in Europe. I don't know. I don't know where football is moving. Is football moving? It definitely is moving in two directions, because these kind of salaries we've never seen before. A salary for a player like Milankovic-Savic, which was something like 25 million, something crazy like that a season. Milankovic-Savic would never get that kind of money in any team in Europe, not even half of that amount. So we're seeing something that we've never seen before, and this has opened a new road, a new obstacle maybe for the market in Europe. I think the possibilities are there. The possibilities are there, but who knows? Who knows what will happen with this? Who knows what will happen with this? Guys, let me know in chat what you guys think, if Leão is going to accept these kind of crazy offers. I would ask Al-Hilal for 200 million if I was Jerry. No, but there's no point, Joel. The way it works is that there's a release clause. It's 175 million. You don't need to ask if you can activate the release clause. You can just do it. It's there. It's a button. You press it. Once you press it, the club can't ask for anything anymore. The club is out of the picture. Now it's up to the player and the team that is negotiating with the player. It's up to the player to decide whether or not he's going to stay at Milan or he's going to go to Al-Hilal. Make a new release clause, 200 million for Saudi clubs. Too late for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this summer we lose both Leão and Theo Hernandez. I think we do have this possibility of losing both these players this summer. which I don't think is really that bad as people would make it out to be, because the amount of money you're getting for these two players is astronomical. You'd be getting something close to 300 million plus what you already have. That means that you're going to go in the market with 400 million, almost 400 million. Yeah, I don't know. Clint, what's up?
Roy, can you hear me? Hopefully, is this too much noise in my background?
No.
Oh, what's up, man? Nah, I see you on. Like you already know. I'm working. I was on YouTube, so I saw that stuff popped up. I don't know what you're talking about, so I just got here. I'm
Do
listening.
you think Leao is going to? What do you think about this Al Hilal offer? And once they activate the clause, then it's up to Leao and his agent, his family. What do you
Yeah.
think they're going to decide?
So there's two. Like we say in French, deux volets. There's two faces to this. Number one, it's gonna be Leao's decision, right? On his father's decision, I think his father's gonna go for the money. That's a fact. You know how it is. Angolan family, they come from a poor background. It's a bigger bag. They're not, you're seeing all these other players are getting paid. They're making all that money. They might try to get a shorter contract with Al Hilal, 3 years so he can come back into Europe if he cares about that. But I just feel if they're offering Leao a lot of money, there's no way his family is not going to convince him to go that route, right? That's one. Now, on the player side, as Leao, he's going to sit there and also understand the project, right? Because I think with Leao is going to be two factors. If players like Theo leave in the summer that they're not feeling Fonseca, I think he's going to say yes to that bid. So I think players are going to speak among themselves and try to get clarity. Because if we're not going to win the UCL and just stay around to be a competing team, I don't have to stay in Europe, right? And I'm just speculating here, but I don't have to stay in Europe. And he's going to leave because everybody's making the money now. Right? Let's think if you were working at a corporate, all your friends are making the bigger bag, but you wanted to work at a corporation. Maybe your dad worked there, and based on some loyalty stuff. Well, loyalty is not paying the bills. There's inflation. So if a big team is not coming in for him, like like a team like Madrid and all of that, for him to even stay in Europe, like he's just gonna stay in Milan, and Milan doesn't have a concrete project. He's not convinced, and some of his friends leave. Like Tonali already left. If Theo decides to leave, I can't see Leao staying, and I think they're also gonna push him out the door. If they're getting 175 million, they're going to. I think right now, as we speak, I think Red Bull is actually looking for alternatives because they would have came like in the past, they would have been like not for sale, and they'll put a stamp. They're not even gonna let these affirmations even build up, or that narrative even spread like wildfire, right? You agree with me? They would have came and said no, right? Because even when Zlatan said they're staying, I feel like it was a bit ambiguous. So I don't really think I can see that happening, man. So that's a bit my take on this.
Yeah. We're just in this new universe, this new parallel universe we live in now, where the kind of money that is being offered as far as salaries is just really hard to even pretend for someone to refuse that. Like you would expect anybody to accept those kind of salaries. Now there are players that have decided not to do that, right? Pellegrini was recently just offered a big contract, big in Saudi Arabia. He said no. He wants to stay at Roma in Italy. I don't know how much it was. I didn't see the numbers. And then there are other players that have refused that. But when we're talking about players like Leao, I think those contracts there are so monumental that it's just like, how do you refuse that? How do you refuse that? Um,
Because for me, essentially, Leao as a player, and I love Leao. I defend him a lot in the chat, and I'm not going to slander him, but let's keep it a buck, right? He's more of a brand player, and I think he's also building a brand when you look at it. And players that build a brand, I don't think they have real loyalties to team, right? He's more, he's more trying to do a fusion. Like it's more like I almost feel like football is almost secondary in his world. Like it's tied to his brand, right? The aesthetic, because that's the tick everybody is going for, right? When you look at the Kunde, Jules Kunde of the world, when you look at What's another player? Even the Bellinghams and all that stuff. I mean, they're doing runways and fashion models, so you can tell where their head is really is, which is not a bad thing in my eyes. But that's the world we're in. It's more of a building a brand. That's what the Vinny Jr. he wants to do now, even though he has the talent. But you see now he signed to Rock Nation. They try to get more into that celebrity status. Pretty much what Beckham was to a certain extent. Like even though Beckham did win trophies, but you agree with me, Beckham was more of a celebrity down the road than anything. You know, when people recognized Beckham, it wasn't because he had Ronaldinho skills, right? He was a really good player, but it was his brand. He was able to create a brand. And I think that's the vision now these new footballers are looking for. It's a brand. Because if you're just a footballer on the pitch, then you're a Kevin De Bruyne, right? You're even a Erling Haaland, right? You're just known in the football world to a certain. I mean, Haaland is known, but De Bruyne, like, he's not a brand. You see what I'm saying? It's more of a football on the pitch guy and all that stuff. Like you don't have that popularity. You weren't able to build the brand. And you look at Leão, the way he moves, even the shows like he appeared on. He appeared on that Kicks show that they do in the UK when they look at kicks, and you can see they're more interested in that. So if that money can come in to fuel that brand, they're gonna do it, man. They're gonna do it. Now the only thing about Saudi is the lifestyle, right? They're gonna look at that. Now I don't know how Leão lives off the pitch, but Saudi is more of a paradise for Muslim players, which I know he's not. So and now you got the family. He's too close to his family, and if you read Leao's story, he comes from a really poor background, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Really poor background. So that money, they're not gonna let it go. I feel like it's gonna be some convincing, and it's not like he's looking for Champions League football and they're more on the football aspect. Because if they're insisting on that, it means his father is somewhat entertaining it to a certain extent.
No,
Again,
yeah, I think the father. I think that's the report that came out was that the father is like, yeah, something about these offers are too good to refuse. But there's one thing that maybe you can think of tying Leão down to the city of Milan is I think he opened a business somewhere in Milan, didn't he? Or am I wrong about that?
I mean, even if he opened the business, again, you said business, then he can go get more money and fuel that business. Because even if he leaves Milan, right? Because we're gonna sell him, Leão is not gonna get hate. He's not gonna be a Donald, man. He's still gonna be loved in the city if he comes back. So if he lives on the good like that, they sold them, right? Like I said, it's a two-faced dragon, right? Because also management can push him out as well.
Yeah,
Management might push him out unless Fonseca says like, no, I need this player to stay.
no, Fonseca
If he
ain't doing
does
that.
that, yeah, if he does it like 175, bro, that's gonna be one of the biggest sell ever in Italy. Ever in Italy. And I don't think these guys are gonna let that go.
No, yeah, of course not. Are you kidding me, dude?
So
Look, if they activate the release clause, that's 175 million guaranteed. Like these guys are staying out of the way. They're paying right now people to put out in the media, hey, this is the release clause, come and get it. You know, they're salivating. The management is salivating. The ownership is salivating. You even had Scaroni not too long ago. I don't know if this is true. Allegedly, guys, allegedly, he said privately to someone that if a big offer comes from Leão, he said he'll wrap him up himself and send him. You know, now this is alleged,
yeah,
but
because
yeah,
like,
Milan is not going to be in the way.
and that's what they and you look at that, right? Because it's also the project. I mean, for me, what's alarming, they're all coming to say what he's saying. I don't think any player is gonna play like that. So it means there's also a disconnect that's starting already. There's brewing, sorry, that you're seeing. You coming saying, even if I'm staying at Milan or not, why would you say that? Because if you're staying, you're staying. You'd be like, it's all rumors. So if he's staying or not, it's not because Theo wants to leave, but he can see a potential that like he's being offered as well. And I think that's what's gonna come down. I mean, at the end of the day, Leão is gonna be what, 26? They're gonna look at it. They're gonna right now. I think they're running the algorithm heavy to find something close to him that they can elevate. I won't be surprised if they sell him. I'm sorry. I won't be surprised if they sell him.
But listen, they don't have a choice in this case, yeah.
No, they don't. They don't.
Right.
And I think it's sad, but then again, Leão goes. Who do you go and buy?
Well,
People saying Cavara, but I don't like those type of deals because Napoli's now gonna know They're like,
No,
hey,
no, not Cavani.
that's
I
what I'm saying. But
I
if
think
they
right
don't,
now it has to be Chiesa because Chiesa seems to be on his way out. I don't know how much Juventus really wants to charge for him. I think Chiesa could be one of those similar situations to Scamacca last year that he might be on a deal, right? He might be on a deal. But listen, if you sell, and I'll get Antonio in here in a second. If you sell, or rather, if they get Leao 175 million, then either Bayern or Real Madrid puts in 100 million for Teo, you have a shitload of money to build a fucking super team, like a super duper the team of teams. So it's not the end of the world if these two players get sold. Maybe it's even a good idea, and these guys actually build a real fucking team. You know, maybe it's a good idea. Antonio, how you doing, bro? What's going on?
Yo, how's it going?
Good.
I'm actually on a run right now, but I wanted to tune in and
All
chat a
right,
bit.
your audio is a little bit. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah, I'm on a run right now.
Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, so I think right now if you do sell Leao, I think there's that Chiesa opportunity right there. And then
yeah, but see, 275 million, right? What? Let's say we
oof,
get 200,
mamma mia.
275,
Mamma
275 million.
mia.
275 million sounds good when you have a proper sporting director. You have a sporting director. 275 million when these guys own loans, what are they doing with that? Yeah, that's one thing too, because the reason why I say this is, let's look, we don't even have the money yet. Financially, we're a stable club, right? But even with that, the choices of a coach, I know picking for center is not the end of the world, but if you were a stable club and you were able to afford even better coaches than him, when you ain't able to do that, now what do you do with 275 million? You think you're gonna go get the top players? Or you're gonna get a bunch of 20 million players in and there? I'm seeing
I mean,
reports that
okay,
they
if
got.
they do that, then I'm giving up on football
But
forever.
but
I
but but,
mean,
but, but listen to this. But I'm seeing a report where it says we're replacing Dale with Emerson Royale. I know they don't play the same side, but like, is it so you get money off Dale and that's who you buy?
I'm expecting them with all that money to like, okay, now we can get some serious players because we have the money and let's spend it. Now, if they spend it like how you suggesting, then at that point, like we can just close up shop and forget about it. But if you have lots of money, right, getting Xerxes shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. Getting Chiesa shouldn't be a problem. Getting Calafiori shouldn't be a problem. Trying to get Amrabat shouldn't be. I mean, you have almost 400 million to spend. Like, you don't have a problem getting these players. You can pay these players in you can finance, not finance. You can play them in rates.
Yeah, I don't want us to sell. That was a player that I appreciate. I just don't want it to sell. But if that happens, I mean, they sold Tonali. We thought it was rumors. That's how the rumors popped up with Tonali, 80 mil. We're like, no, that can't be true. And he was gone. The rumors coming for Leao is gone. I mean, this Saudi thing it's real, man. Like, when they come the door knocking, they're gonna throw that money out there. And Al Hilal is the top team in Asia. They're gonna play in the World Cup in 2025
Ah,
next
there
year
you
in the
go.
US, which is gonna bring a lot of mainstream, a lot of eyeballs, a lot of things. That's why they're building up their teams. So
Yeah, yeah.
they're probably pitching all of that to him. And the dad is just thinking money. That's the problem. Listen, when there's family agents, when they got these family agents, that's what happens, bro. You got those the families that, right, they want the bigger money. It doesn't always correlate to the players' request, right? To the players how you call that, wishes. You look at the Mbappe, same thing. Mbappe been wanted to go at Madrid. His mom and dad had to sit him around and play with the system. That wasn't all Mbappe. Mbappe been wanted to leave. But the parents, that's what happened when your parents are in charge. And sometimes your parents might make the wrong move. But Mbappe is going at a time where he's not really much needed at Madrid. You understand? I know there's been a lot of convincing. and all that stuff. And I'm gonna get back on the French league, something I just found out about like later on. But Mbappe, you look at that situation. So now he's leaving France at 26. Well, he could have left at 2018. He was supposed to make that move at PSG. He would have been probably having Ballon d'Ors. So you delayed because that's what happened. The parents, the money grab. You need the money. Money, your kid has talent. You need him to stay. That's what happened with these talented kids. You understand? That's why I've been signing to kids. Unless you play at teams like Madrid. Because if a Vinny Jr. wasn't, because a Vinny Jr., right? Like the way he if he'd excelled at Milan, he would have been the same Leão situation. Somebody would have came in with 300 mil. Well, if Madrid is not coming from me, who else? Because where does Leão go? Maybe a Man City. That's the anything close I can think of. The two big clubs. Anything else? Why would Leão go to another team? If it's not those two teams, why would Leão go to another team other than Man City and Real Madrid?
But there's no team in Europe that could pay that could
that
release
clause. Right.
give that clause. The only team that could do it is one of the Saudi teams, and it's just the way it is. But if they do it, listen, I kind of have a little bit of faith that like they can spend the money on good players, real good players, like and still do what they need to do with the whole Moneyball thing. It's just that you're playing in a different kind of level in the Moneyball game. You're just a level up where you can spend a little bit more and still make money and still come out with a profit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too optimistic here, but if they sell Hernandez, and Leao this summer, I think you can build the best team in Europe.
I mean, yeah, you definitely can if you had a proper. The only reason I say that is because there's no this 3-man team stuff. It's too many people. It's too many hands on one plate. Right? If it has to just be Fulani, then Fulani is the guy. Then you let him go and pick out his guys, right? This whole Mankada trio love triangle they have little going on, that little therapy session they got going on, like I have no clue on what's going to be the best picks. Are you going to balance and all that? And then with the coach, is not even satisfying, right? Because when you go and you miss, you take Leao out. Yeah, you might get other teams, but then do you start to have other holes, within your team? Like the same way when Tonali left, now we didn't get a DM. We went and got all these players, and then our main thing, we didn't have a DM.
No. But if you have all that money, you're not just replacing one player. Like you're building a team. Like like kind of what I said. This would be my scenario, right? My ideal scenario. Chiesa for Leao. Xerxes, Amrabat, Calafiori, those four, flirt with the Tonali Tomori operation. Maybe you can bring in Tonali and Tomori goes out since Calafiori is coming in, and Calafiori can take over Tomori's role. So now you bring in Tonali too. And now you have also built somewhat of an Italian block. So you've resolved that issue. And then see whatever good operations you can make, because you still have a lot of money left. You can get a really good right back. Yeah. You could get another good striker, and you can keep on going, and you have more to save for the next season.
And also, if you get, now it would have been the ideal situation if Leao would go, that you can get Kvara, and then these names you mentioned, then that's a deadly force. Now you didn't even feel the void that these guys, had. But that's, that's
what am I hearing, bro? What am I hearing? Holy shit!
That's just what if, man.
Holy shit!
How you doing, Rejo? What's going on? What are you hearing, Rejo?
You've been ducking the smoke. You see, the problem is he's been ducking the smoke, right? Now, new summer transfer. Rejo disappeared since last summer. Remember this, Roy? Since last summer window. Now you're back at it for another summer window.
He's ready. The second cycle.
He's back.
Came out of his slumber.
Exactly. I was hiding, but now I'm back. Now that everyone has forgotten. Now listen. Can we stop rationalizing this idea that if we sell Theo, good things will happen. If we sell Theo, it's over. What is this bullshit?
Theo and Leao.
and Leão, either one of them. If we sell either one, unless it's for like 250 million, like Barca did with Neymar. I don't know of any top
Yeah,
club or any
that's
club
what you
that
would
wins
get.
trophies. I don't know any top club or any club that wins trophies that sells their best players. Do you know any? I don't
No,
know
but
any.
this is, yeah, but we know that this is not that Milan now. Of
Yeah,
course. I
but
mean,
I have
yes,
to see
Red
it from,
John,
the
I'm with
perspective
you on
of a
this.
fan. I
I'm
have to
with you
see it
on
from,
this.
yeah, but I have to see it from the perspective of a fan, not from the perspective of the Milan's accountant. I don't give a shit. I don't get paid by Leao's transfer. What I want is very, very simple. I want a team that is in green after breaking our balls and after me fighting countless lives with Roy and Dart and me saying that it doesn't matter if you're in red or not. It's a matter of who wants to spend and how much they want to spend. Now that we're in green, we are starting to sell. What is this bullshit? And somehow I hear Roy now rationalizing it, giving it. Oh,
Well,
we can buy right back like
you know
Roy.
why
What is
I'm
this
rational
bullshit?
you know why I'm rationalizing it. The reason
I
is
don't know, but
because we know that with this ownership, it can very well happen. So you have to think of, if it does happen, what can be done with that money. I think that you can build a super team with that money. You
with
know,
150 million, what can you build?
well,
Shit,
no,
you
no, no,
build
no,
nothing.
no. Hold on. It's 100 million that they already, put out there without any sales, plus another 50 from the sales, the loans, and all that stuff, plus another 275 from Lao. You have a shitload of money. I would like that. That would be my ideal scenario. And
But
like with
that's
that
not.
kind of money, I build the best team in Europe in
And with that
one
kind of,
one go. That's all I
who
need.
are you gonna who are you gonna get? Tell me.
Well, okay, so I replaced Leao with Chiesa since he's on a deal right now. I bring in
You you,
Xerxes.
you are
I bring
downgrading. Okay, now you bring in Xerxes.
No, that's
Okay.
I disagree with that. I don't think I'm downgrading.
Come on.
But
Yeah,
but I'm not I don't want to discuss that because then we're going to just
no,
stay
no,
there forever.
but
So
it's not a matter of discussion. He is literally going
that's a matter.
from Juventus to Napoli.
That's a matter. No, no, no. What? Okay. This
Yes,
Red John. Do not deflect. Do not
I'm not.
direct the conversation somewhere else. So I would replace Leao with Chiesa. Bring in Xerxes. Bring
Uh-huh.
Amrabat. Bring Calafiori.
Amrabat.
Bring
Uh-huh.
Amrabat. Bring Calafiori. I would probably do this exchange Tomori Tonali. So now I'm starting to build a strong Italian national team core, which I think is very important, and that's going to be a very key factor.
But
Calafiori, Tonali, and Chiesa, that's already a nice core right there. And then I have Amrabat, I have Xerxes. I can bring in a good right back. I can bring in a good left back. I
tell me
can bring in
names.
another defensive midfielder.
Who are you gonna replace
Those
Theo with?
those names there. Theo Hernandez, you can replace him with Spinazzola. Maybe he's on a free,
Okay.
or I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you can really replace Theo Hernandez because he's the only one player that is irreplaceable right now. But you have to balance it somewhere else. You have to bring the talent somewhere else. You lose a little bit of talent here, you put it somewhere else. I think already by bringing Calafiori, Amrabat, Tonali there, you kind of, that's like nobody's scoring goals on you. Nobody's scoring goals on you if you have that.
You are selling the players to build your dream national Italian team at Milan, but it's not how it works, man.
No, no,
How it
no, no, no,
works,
no. Okay,
how it works
hold on. But let me
is
finish. Let me finish,
Calafiori
Richard.
all of a sudden goes from 50 to 100 million, the price,
No,
because they know you have money.
no, it's not going to be like that now. But let me finish. I don't want to hear into these kind of arguments. I really don't. I know what I'm talking about. I don't need to do these kind of arguments. And then, that Italian core, first of all, is just 3 players. And we're not talking about the whole. Then Xerxes is not Italian. Amrabat is not Italian. And the other guys I'm thinking could be from anywhere. But with that kind of money, you give that money to me, take Theo and Leao out and give that money to me, I will build you the best team in Europe in one market. You can believe whatever you want, but I know.
I understand that you might believe that, but you cannot, because the best players in Europe play at Man City, play at Real Madrid, players that you have no chance.
No.
Okay.
You see, no. I didn't say I will build the
Yeah.
team with the best players. I said I will build the best team in Europe. Best team in Europe.
No, but it doesn't work like that, Roy, and you know it. But luckily,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
okay.
Roy,
Okay,
move
okay,
on. Roy, move
okay,
on, move
okay,
on.
okay. Red
You
John.
try to come here and do chaos.
Red John is trying to be
it's
slow.
It was just,
I'm not gonna take the bait, Red John. I'm not gonna
John,
take the bait.
John. It was just a
not about
hypothetical.
chaos.
It was
Yeah.
just hypothetical. That's all we were
Yeah,
talking about.
and I'm saying hypothetically you are wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
my God.
and okay, good. Thank you.
So
What do you want? What do you want, Red John? What do you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell
What the
this
fuck
and
do you
that, and
want?
I'm gonna buy Calafiori, and then I'm gonna.
Okay, okay. Do you want to
Well,
laugh?
this
You want to
is
laugh? You want to laugh?
no,
Okay, so
it's
what's your
funny.
opinion? What's your opinion?
My opinion is very simple. You are in green. If you are in green, you don't sell your top players. You go and improve the team. You don't sell to buy. That's the whole point.
Okay, okay,
Otherwise,
okay.
why
Now,
are we
now
in green?
I'm going to be nice and I'm going to engage with your conversation instead of being a fucking asshole like you were a second ago.
Well,
But I'll engage with your
not
conversation.
at all.
You're saying that that's what you would do, but don't look at it from your perspective. Look at it from
Yeah.
all the dots that are being connected and all the realities, right? This is not, unfortunately, this club does not operate like that way. And the other thing, Rejon, that you have to realize
I
is that,
disagree.
how do you know?
Well, how do you know?
Because this is what they said. You know, this is what they said, that they don't have a problem selling players.
Yeah, if a high price arrives, and first of all,
Right.
these prices are bullshit. But second of all, and most importantly, is the fact that last summer we didn't sell, and
We sold
we spent.
Tonali.
Yeah,
We
but
sold
we
Tonali.
didn't. Yeah, but I still am of the idea that they knew that Tonali was doing that shit.
Okay.
But anyways,
fine.
but it doesn't matter.
Hypothetical. Hypothetical. Ha 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 ha. Fuck
No,
off.
hypothetical for real.
Yeah, okay.
What's it's hypothetical, factually.
All right. Go on. Yeah.
So now the idea for me is very simple. You improve on the team like that, and I have no reason to believe that they are gonna sell players now and buy.
Well,
Uh,
okay. First of all,
new team.
you need to inform yourself. The 175 million is not an offer. That's a release clause. If they activate it, they activate it. Milan has no choice in the matter.
But they have to agree with the player first, and
Yeah, they have to convince the player.
Leao would have to go to Saudi Arabia.
And come back after 4 years with 200 and 300 million in the bank. And what is he going to say no to that? Is his family going to tell him no, don't do that?
Yeah, he's not
okay. Now we're starting to get out of Narnia and back into reality.
No, but this is reality. Do you know of any player who's considered the top 20 in the world that goes to Saudi Arabia in the peak of his career?
Well,
what's his name? I have several. Oscar at the time, he was in the top 20 and he left for China.
What are you talking about? How was Oscar in the top 20, bro?
Oscar was a top player at the time when he made the move, and it surprised everybody. Don't come out here and sit there and cap.
In what world was he top player?
Bro, Oscar was one of the top. Oscar was one of the top Brazilian talent at the time. Those mid 2010s, he was. Yeah. Let's not sit here and say no.
No, but there's more. There's more than those. Hulk was another player that was a big player that went for money. There's a lot of players. We saw a lot of players. KC probably was one of the best defensive midfielders in Europe. He went for money. Milinkovic Savic, probably one of the best midfielders also in Europe. He went for money. There's many. Brozovic. I don't know who they are, but there's many. The fact that this is a new reality, when someone comes to you and says, here's 25 million to fucking play football for a season, and I'm going to give you this 25 million 4 times in a row for 4 or 3 seasons, it's very difficult to say no to that. This is the reality. In the mountains of Narnia where you live, people are going to say, no, I'm going to stay for 5 million a season to play for Jerry Cardinale and Furlani.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is someone who says, I want to become, they are already, like, I understand that you think that, but these players are already rich, right? These players are not there coming or thinking that they are going to escape poverty. They are rich.
Yeah.
Now, what they think is how to become a legend in the sport and get paid, and get paid a lot as well.
Okay, okay,
but now,
okay.
but
No.
I
Hold
think,
on, Clint. Let me just say this and be quiet because I need to be quiet, guys. We are witnessing the fairy tale side of a Milan. You see, here we are very pragmatic. We're very down to earth. We understand things from a very deep level. Red John represents the fairy tale side of things. So, guys, witness the spectacle of the fairy side tale of things against the people that are.
I literally told you to give me examples, and you gave me
but
Oscar.
Regina, hold on. No.
I'm done. Play,
But
you
let me
go.
say
I'm
this.
done.
Let me say this. You missed the beginning of the conversation. I said this before you came on. I said with Leão having his father as an agent, Leão comes from a really poor background. Leao's father is an African man, bro. They will not give a fuck. He's not born in Milan or like some born bred. He's a player that builds a brand. And I love Leao. I'm not slandering him, but that's a fact. He's building a brand. Money's gonna come around. They're going to listen to let me speak and I'm gonna let you speak. They're going to entertain it and they're going to leave. If they bring some good lump sum, they're gonna look at it. It's the same. I use an example as somebody like Mbappe. Mbappe's moved to Madrid. You can take PSG is kind of like the Saudi of Europe, right? You losing that.
You literally proved my point.
Let me say this, but let me say this though. But
Thank
even
you for
with
proving
no,
my point.
but watch this. Mbappe should have been at Madrid a long time ago because of his parents as an agent. They kept delaying and they milked more money,
But
and that's what happens.
Unwillingly, you proved my point.
What point am I proving?
The point that I'm making, the point that these players don't care about money. These players want to win. These players want to become legends of the sport.
So you
literally, the example is Mbappe left 100 million a season to go and play for Real Madrid.
No. Mbappe was bribed by the French government to stay at PSG.
Literally,
and then he. But the thing is, Mbappe is different. Mbappe is a different case because
I agree with you. Let me say this right. I agree.
But hold on, one thing, Clint. Mbappe knows that he can become a legend. He knows it, and he knows that he's worthy of Real Madrid. Other players, not so much. So when that big money comes, this is a new thing that we're witnessing. This did not exist a few years ago. The 25, 30 million contracts for players that are not even in the top 20 is a new thing. And Saudi Arabia wants to make their mark in football.
Right. But Rajan, I agree with you. Well, what I want to say here, because let me rephrase my thought process. Maybe I'm not making myself clear. I agree. They want to be legend of the game. Again, Mbappe wanted to be a legend of the game. Let's use him and Leao as parallels, right? The same. Watch. They want to be legend of the game, but what I'm trying to say is when you have parents as agents, the money's going to come in the way. They're going to delay that viewership.
Give me
who? And I'll give you an example like Mbappe. Why Mbappe never made the move? Okay, listen to me. So you think Mbappe wanted to be a legend of France? No,
we established that Mbappe made my point.
No. Listen to me. When Mbappe was courted for a long time by Madrid, he was supposed to make the move from Monaco to Madrid. Why did he go to PSG? Why? To be a legend in Ligue 1 when his idol was Cristiano Ronaldo? No. PSG was offering more money. The parents saw it and they kept him there. And even the second time around, again, they kept him there. Same as Neymar. No, listen to me. Same as Neymar. No, watch this. Neymar wanted to be a legend of the game as well. So he went to PSG to become a legend of the game. And what happened? Come on, bro.
First of all, even at PSG, you are playing in Europe. You are not playing in Saudi Arabia. But second of all, and most importantly, Mbappe cannot be an example that you give me. Mbappe is an example that I can give you to prove my point. So you are confused, Clint.
Confused about what? I explained. I give you. Listen.
He lives in fantasy land, bro.
I give you the criteria. I gave you the criteria of the Mbappe telling you when you have parent agents, they do not say no to
Yeah.
the money. It's going to
No,
delay your success. Your
no,
argument here, no, listen to me. Your
no,
argument here is that you're
no,
saying,
my
no, your
argument
argument here,
is
no, your argument here is that you're saying that here that the play in general, all the players want to be legend of the game. We get that. Yes, everybody wants to be a legend of the game, but people like Leão, they're building a brand. Listen to me, bro. They're building a brand. If
it's
that
not
money
the
comes
top.
out, when that's
Can you
okay,
give me
we're gonna see.
can you give me some examples? Or are you just gonna say stuff that you think is
Like
true?
like
Give
which
give me some
like examples of
examples.
what? Like players that are building a brand.
No, players that are building a brand and they go to Saudi Arabia for that in the
But the
peak of
Saudi
their
Arabia,
career.
but the Saudi Arabia is a new phenomenon, bro. That shit just all
Yeah,
happened 2 years
yeah.
ago. So what example
The,
do you want me to give you
Dude,
for
you
Saudi
are
Arabia specific?
how old are you,
so,
Richard?
Like,
Well,
come
you
on,
talk
bro.
like a 5-year-old, bro. Like seriously, where's
okay.
your critical thinking, dude? Where is your
Yeah,
critical thinking?
my
Like, do they not
my
do critical thinking classes in Germany in your university? Like, do they just
my
teach you
critical thing.
guys? No, your
My
critical
critical
thinking is these guys want to be legends. No,
yes,
man,
exactly.
the end of the world,
Yes,
money
right.
talks. At the end of the world,
No,
money
no,
talks.
no.
And
Money is
these
talking.
things,
These
and
guys
the,
are rich, Roy. I know you cannot fathom it,
no,
but
no,
these
no, no,
guys
no,
are
no,
rich.
no, no, no. Listen, first of all,
Look,
I've never heard of a rich person who will say no to an opportunity to be even richer. So that doesn't exist. On this planet,
give
that
me
does not exist.
examples. 2
Every,
years in the
every,
making. Give me examples of someone in their peak, 24-year-old,
I don't
going
know
there,
because I'm not keeping track of it.
I gave you
going,
no. I gave you an
going.
example. I give you an
I
example of
don't
Oscar.
care.
I
I'm
give
not
you
keeping track of
yeah,
it.
So,
I give you an
so
example of Oscar. Oscar at the peak of his career. Oscar at the peak of his career went
But
to
listen,
China for money.
listen, guys,
Now
guys.
you can
was
say
not
Oscar
even
is not a
close.
legend or what. Okay, it's fine. He
Of
was
course, he's
Chelsea's
not
top
legend,
player.
bro. What
He
are we
won the
talking about?
league, bro. He won the league with Chelsea like two
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
At that
yeah,
time, he was a peak in the Prem.
yeah,
He's one of the top Prem players.
yeah,
He was at the peak
yeah.
of his career. I give you an
Yes,
example.
but he
Now,
was
no
not a
matter of the
top
status, I'll
20
give you an
player.
example. Okay, that's fine for you. He was a starter of that Brazilian national team. What are we talking about?
So what?
Listen,
But
listen,
he
listen,
wasn't a
listen,
top 20
listen,
player. Leao
guys.
is a top
Red
20. He was
John
a
was this
top 5
confident
in his
last
position.
season that Chukwueze was going to be the best player in Serie A. Okay, so you got to understand that when you're talking to Red John, you're talking to someone that lives
No,
in
but wait,
Narnia,
I cannot
and it's
go.
impossible
Listen,
to
who,
reason with.
but listen, who would look more ridiculous? Someone who says Chukwueze is gonna do well, or someone who says Aroma is gonna win the Serie A? Like, let's not go there.
Yeah. No,
Because
that's fine. That's
because
fine. The problem is
the,
that
the
no.
one
The
who sounds
problem is
crazy, in my view, is the one who
that's
says
fine,
Aroma is
and
gonna win.
I take that. The problem is
Of course.
the moment I saw that I was wrong with that prediction, I let go of it. I said, okay, now I
Yeah,
understand. Now
yeah.
next time I won't make those same mistakes. You went along with your
Please.
fucking narrative
Uh-huh.
until the end of the season because
Sure. Now,
okay, so that's completely different. You live in Narnia.
yeah.
Sometimes I take a visit. I admit, sometimes I visit, but I
Yeah,
don't live there.
you
I
do.
don't live
But
there. You
listen,
live there.
you
But
don't go there often.
listen,
But
listen, guys.
when
This is the
when you
thing.
go, you
This
make a
is the thing,
boom.
bro. I don't like this kind of conversation because this conversation is not in good
It's not,
faith.
of
It's
course.
just Red John trying to provoke and poke the
Oh,
bear. I don't understand.
provoke.
For me, these conversations are not fun, to be honest with you.
But
But
do you think people that hear us are stupid or what? Like, why are you saying I am provoking when in fact the whole idea here is that you are saying Leao is going to be bought by the Saudis?
no.
The most
I'm not.
the most
No,
ridiculous. The
no.
most ridiculous thing.
I did not say that. I'm saying let's look at the possibilities of that happening because there is a release clause.
Yeah.
There is money there,
Yeah.
and there is the factor of
Very- yeah.
big. Okay, listen, bro. If you're gonna laugh at every fucking word I say, fuck you. You're out of
No,
here.
but
Okay, seriously. No. I
you
mean
have,
it.
you have to make sense. But also, you cannot threaten me with this. Oh, you're out of here.
No,
What
fuck
is-
off, because
You're
I
right.
no
You're right. You're Roy. Switch the
What is this bullshit?
conversation, man. Switch the conversation. This is like a dead end. It's a dead end.
no. Listen,
It's a
guys,
dead
if you
end.
want to come and talk to me. If you disagree with what I say, do it. But have a conversation with me. If you're gonna laugh at every little fucking word and try and act like a piece of shit, fuck off. Don't even come here. It's very simple. Very simple. If you don't agree, and if you want to actually rephrase what I say, because I didn't say that that's what is going to happen, I'm just talking about the possibility of that happening and looking at the realities and then coming up with a conclusion whether or not it might happen or it can't happen. We don't know if it's going to happen. Nobody here claimed this is going to happen. Listen, Red John wants to come here and play with me. I don't feel like it. I'm not in a play mood. I want to have serious conversations. Okay?
Let him back in, Roy. Come on.
No, he left by himself. If he
Oh,
wants to come back, he can come back. But have a serious conversation with me. I'm not in the mood with it of this. I'm not in the mood. We're just having discussions here, okay? We're just having discussions here. Let's look at the realities, right? Let's look at the realities of how the club operates. Jerry talks about cash flow. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. I'm not going inside the mountains of Narnia to invent this. These are words he said. How do you get cash flow in football? With sale of players, because they pay cash for these players. So they did it with Tonali. Now, if you want to believe that they did it with Tonali because they knew this and that, then that's a stretch. That's already, you see, that's a problem with that. That is already something that you don't know. It's alleged, but if you're going to go with that, then that is just going to propel you towards more and more things that you don't really know about. We don't know if they sold him because of that. What we do know is that they sold him and they did use that money back into the market. So, and this is what Jerry said in his seminars. He said, yeah, cash flow, that's one of the good things about European football, cash flow, the cash flow that happens in the transfer market. So this club here is not opposed to selling big players. Listen, it's strange that me being very much against this, the way this club operated, is adapting to the way this club operated and better than the people that like the way this club operates. I mean, I think that if you think that Leão or Theo Hernandez this summer are not going to leave and they're going to stay with Milan, and you're 100% sure about that, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself, because there are very good chances that both these players go. Now, maybe not. Ideally, for me, honestly, if I do get, honestly, what I would do personally, this is what I would do. I would sell both of those players for all this kind of money, and then I would build myself a fucking crazy ass team. That's what I would do. But if I don't need to sell these players and I can build a team around these guys, that's the best thing you can do. Because having Leão and Theo Hernandez now in the best years of their life athletically, that's the best thing you can have. This is why it's very important for them. You know, I mean, Red John does bring up a good point, and we did talk about it. Is Leão going to think about his football career, or is he going to think about his wallet? And then we talk about what you were saying, Clint. You got the family situation, you got the brand, and you got these things, because the money here that we're talking about is money that is going to keep you going for generations. For generations.
And the reason I know, you know, and it's speculative, you know, I don't want to get sued or anything, even I'm in the state. And the reason I know, like, I like Leão. Leão has good character off the pitch, doesn't create trouble. But you can see how attached he is to his family. His mom, his father, they're always at the pitch. So it means like he's their money machine. You understand? Like, he's their money machine. Other players, you rarely see that. You don't see Theo's mom at games. You see him with his girl. But I rarely even see Leao's girl, even though I know how she looks like. I see more of his dad on the sideline than his mom. Like, they're there, like 24/7. You know, what are their intentions? That's what you really need to know. And you know, kids are wise. They're always gonna follow what their parents tell them. That's the same. And that's what I use the Mbappe example. He said, "Oh, but now Mbappe is going to Madrid." Yeah, it's sure he's going to Madrid. But before that Madrid took place, how long did he stay at PSG? Mbappe had to accept his reality, like, you know what, I'm going to stay. Because if Mbappe didn't have his parents as agents, like he just had a regular agent or whatever, he would have went to a big club a long time ago. He wouldn't even entertain the president of France talking to them. and all that. And I understand Mbappe, and Mbappe is kind of like a particular place. Don't get me wrong, because right now, I don't know if you heard, but right now the French Ligue 1 does not have they do not have a TV deal as we speak right now. They have not secured a TV deal, and the TV deal they try to get just a $1 billion TV deal that they can't even get. And is already a problem in the French media, because the teams that got promoted, that's what they count on to be able to finance their transfers. So they're actually also left astray. So it's a big impact, and that's why him leaving implicated a lot of stuff, because there's no more star power in PSG, and they were not smart enough to secure a long-term TV deal while Mbappe was there, while Neymar was there. They let it expire. So now they're kind of fucked. So they need really a star name to even get somewhat a TV deal to stay afloat, because that down the road in 2-3 years, they're just going to be bad, bro. They're going to be out of money. That's a fact. Because beIN Sport, they're trying to market it to the US market. No, that's not working. Like League 1 is not broadcast. It's broadcast on beIN Sport. And I understand why Serie A had to leave beIN Sport. It's nothing. It brings them anything. And I know the Qatari own it, but it doesn't secure them a bigger deal. So with Mbappe, there was a lot of implications. But then again, the reason why he stayed is the family. Because if Mbappe would have said, no, I'm not staying,
it was, the government was pushing him. Macron
that's what I'm
was
saying.
there.
But yeah, they put pushing it. But he could also said, no, like, bro, I want my football career. I don't want to entertain these things. So somehow,
Right.
Because to get access to Mbappe, you got to speak to the family. So because the family said, like, it was a no, it would have been a no, and he would have left. And you see now, because if you said the government intervened at that time, and I know it was for the World Cup in Qatar, why did the government trick didn't work again this time around? Right? Why it didn't? Why you was just set like that?
It's because this was the deal. The deal was, but after this, I'm going to Real Madrid.
Right, but it shows that, if the family
I agree with you, man. I 100% agree with you.
And that's why I'm mad. So for me, I was always skeptical of parent agents. Parents that are too much close
like
to
Donnarumma. We
like
saw
and
with
all that.
Donnarumma.
But it's almost, especially when your kid has talent, it gets, it doesn't. It's good, but it's not good to a certain extent, because it becomes problematic down the road. Because let the proper people in the football world deal with, got to deal with, people that are serious. They're going to get you to where you need to be at, right? You see, like the Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a hard worker. They have people like the Jorge Mendes. They put Cristiano Ronaldo in the best positions in his entire career. And he's also a top talent. But with his talent, if he had a bunch of family members scooping around and all that, Cristiano Ronaldo probably would have never been who he is today. And that's the thing, right? You have also with the Messi situation, but Messi's a bit different because he comes from La Masia with his dad and all that stuff. But even with that, you saw towards the end of his career, the move to PSG and all that stuff. You see what happened. And that wasn't even a good move. You see what I'm saying? And then he landed here. And I'm always skeptical with parents too much involved in their parents, especially like black players. And I emphasize on black players because I know what it is. I know the background. I know, and then that translates across all sports. Black players are not disciplined enough to have longer careers in the sport, man. That's a fact. After a while, they're gonna go for the money because a lot of them don't come from ideal situations. Like, let's say, like a Caucasian player, right? When you look at a Kaká, for example, and all these guys, some of these guys, they come from good families where the family doesn't really care about the money, right? Look at I saw this player, Carvajal. His dad is a policeman in Madrid, right? He showed him the trophy, right? So you can tell he didn't grow up too much struggle, like middle class type players. So yes, they look for the money, but these players are prompt to go even further in their careers because they come from a stable background where like the entourage is not too much money hungry, like a black player that comes from the slums, where it's like the whole hood is relying on you to pour back. So they're gonna convince you to get the bigger bag, but it doesn't always correlate.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. When you come from that kind of social economic background, things are different. When you have the opportunity to make the money, you take it, and you understand it, because you're coming from a really very difficult situation. And if you have the opportunity to create extreme generational wealth, like why wouldn't you do it? You know,
Because even look, right? I'll give you an example. Look between Argentinians and Brazilians who have longer careers, right?
Argentinians.
Argentinians have longer careers. Yeah, you can say some of the talent, but Argentinians have longer careers. Why? Because also some of the Brazilians or the black players, even like Leão, they're so talented. Like they reach their peak. They're talented really young, right? They reach their peak sometimes young, that they get a lot of accolades also a bit young, where they're like, okay, I got no accomplishment no more in football. I don't care. I'm gonna go do what I do. They even tell you about the R9 stories, right? With the whole Capello stuff, right? How Capello had to ship R9 to Madrid, right? Because all Ronaldo was doing was drinking, and Ronaldo didn't really care. But Ronaldo was disciplined also. Yeah, he had injuries, but he was disciplined enough to manage that weight. He would have had a longer career, but he hit his peak so much young, and he accomplished so much young, that it's almost like he completed football damn near, that they didn't care about the longevity or legend per se, like what John is saying. They don't really care about this shit, man.
Yeah. I know. I totally
Because
get it.
even with Vinny Jr. right now, you think if they come and they tell Vinny Jr. right now, right, like next summer, we're giving you 500 million a year, you think he's gonna stay at Madrid?
No way. No way. No chance.
And that's what I'm saying. So when they're telling me all these things, I'm like, no, they're not. Because
Yeah,
when the money is big, they're not going to look at all of this legend shit you're talking about.
the Saudi Arabia thing is a new thing. We got a new player in this game, and it changes the cards on the table a lot, because when you're talking about that kind of amount of money, who said? I think it was Oscar actually that said it. Legacy does not put food on your table.
And that's why I brought the Oscar example. You telling me he wasn't top 20? Oscar was at his peak. When Oscar was at that Brazilian team, even in 2014, him and Neymar, that was the top talent of the team. Oscar was arguably one of Chelsea's best players.
Yeah,
you saw Oscar. Oscar was arguably one of the players. He left at his peak. He didn't go to China when he was young or like in his 30s. No, he was in his mid-20s, man. He was at his peak. And that's why Oscar is a good example. Saudi Arabia didn't exist then. China was the Saudi Arabia. That's why everybody was going there.
And we'll start. Hulk did it. It started. Saudi Arabia, though, seems to be a little bit more successful. Someone brought up also another player, a Spanish player that was in good age, 23, Gabriel Vega. But I think every summer it's going to be stronger and stronger. This, and also you got Cristiano Ronaldo there.
Because how did they start, right? Here's how they started with this. They started with, okay, let's get retiree players with name, i.e. the Cristiano Ronaldo and all these guys. Let's try to get them. And other above average players like the Neves, the Ruben Neves and all these guys. Let's try to poke the bear and see, right? The Koulibaly of the world, right? The Mendy of the world, right? The people running out of contract, but they can still go to the top. Let's
Milinkovic-Savic,
like somebody like Kante,
Brozovic,
right? Somebody
Kante.
like Kante, right? Let's
Sané.
And I listen. I follow a lot of Indian media. So the commissioner for the Saudi league, he used to work with Chelsea. He's a Nigerian guy. He explained the plan and what they're doing. It's a long year plan. They started with that.
I know.
Next summer, what are they gonna do? This summer coming now, they're gonna start look at other like the top talents now, like I won't say the second tier, but a little bit like the top talent, even the Kavishka. They're gonna start poking the bear. They're going to try.
I know for a fact.
Now, if Leão,
they already have. They already tried. They already started.
I'll give you an example. Let's say Leão and Osimhen decide to go over there. Now they're like, okay, we move into another level. Yeah. Now we can start coaching players from the top teams now.
Yes, and did you bring it up? The World Cup, the Club World Cup.
Yeah, the Club World Cup.
We're going to be in it every year,
Now
anyway, let me get
right. I wish I had this last point.
Yeah,
somebody like De Bruyne that comes in and says, "Oh, that amount of money." De Bruyne didn't have this type of talk. Even now, people like Kevin De Bruyne, they're entertaining the Saudi league. Lukaku coming out like, "Oh, it's a competitive league." So you see where we're going. It's because it's the money. Because in the past, Saudi always had money, but they weren't paying that much money. There used to be other African players used to go over there and play in Qatar and all that shit and be forgotten. But now, it's a different stratosphere. People rather go there then go to, you know, in the past, people used to go to, let's say, another top 5 league, or maybe go to France, Ligue 1, or the Portuguese league. They give me more money if I go over there, right? That used to be where you can get your last bank. But now you can go to Saudi Arabia. And that's where we are.
Abdi, man, what's up, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good. What's going on?
Yeah, man, everything's usually. I saw Rajan on the stream again, causing problems. But yeah,
You can
besides
come
that,
back. Just talk normal, you know. Don't start a fucking drama.
yeah, I mean, I personally don't agree with this point. Look, legacy is, as you said, legacy doesn't bring money to the table. Like, you have to come at it from a realistic point of view. If Leão is shown this type of money, odds are he's probably going to leave. And I think I agree with your point. We could probably create a super team with that money, but I can't stress enough that I do not trust this management. I don't think they're trustworthy. I don't know if I would trust them, you know, to have all of that money at hand. But if Leão was to leave for 175 million, man, I'll be happy. That is a steal, essentially. And to be fair, we could obviously, you know, use that money wisely and get some of the best in their position. As you said, Chiesa. I think Chiesa is immensely talented, and I would go as crazy enough as to say that I believe that Chiesa is better than Leão for me. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how this pan out. I know it's a bit early. I mean, these rumors were here before, from like 2 weeks ago. But if they're now starting to materialize, I wouldn't bet on the odds that Leão stays. I think he leaves, you know.
Yeah. No, it is like a lot of money. And if that money comes, like, you have an obligation to spend it wisely. You know, that's the other argument. Because you can totally misuse it. You can totally spend it unwisely and do it wrong. So I don't know, but I mean, I'm being optimistic in thinking that if they do get all of this money from a Leão or from Matteo, or even if it's from both, what you can do, you can build a super team.
For me, you keep Theo Hernandez at all costs, whatever it takes. I mean, you're leaving a guy who's arguably the best in his position. Now, obviously, Leão is, but there's more, you know, talent readily available. If you get what I mean, there's not many good left backs like Theo Hernandez.
I don't think there's any. I think he's the number one.
Yeah, he's the number one by quite a long shot. So I say keep Theo at all costs. I would say, personally, for the management, they should, you know, stall out for Theo Hernandez and wait. And if this Leão thing materializes, then give Theo Hernandez the salary he's asking for. Shouldn't be difficult. You know, you can't lose both. I know you'll get all the money in the world, but you're not going to get a better player in Theo Hernandez. So you keep him at all costs. But the Leão thing, I'm more open to that. You know.
The thing that I ask myself is this. It really comes down to always asking myself this question.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Leão, the clause, they come in with the clause, you know, and it's up to Leão, and then Milan is out of the picture now. Milan doesn't get to decide; they just get to wait till Leão, and Leão says yes. So okay, that's 175 million in the bank, easy.
Yeah.
The question that I really ask myself is more on Theo, because Theo, it's going to be up to the team, and they said the messaging coming out is, you know, if you come with a big offer, we will accept. So I wonder if Real Madrid is going to go in for Leão or Bayern, which I think is very possible this summer, because if you look at all the network of players that are possibly moving, Real Madrid and Bayern, you know, linked with Theo, for me, that's very possible. If they come up with 100 million, I honestly don't see Jerry saying no to that either. This is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Listen, most likely they're both going to stay. But I'm just saying that there is going to be a possibility of that happening. It's not 80-20, 90-10.
Yeah.
It's 52-48. It's 55-45. You know, like, I think the margins of it happening are not that far-fetched.
For me, the fact that Theo Hernandez even alluded to, I will decide whether or not I leave or I stay, is a big indicator that it's lingering in his mind to leave. Now, all other players usually when there's turmoil like this, they will say, "Oh, I'm happy at my club right now. I'm just focused on AC Milan at the moment." But for him to say, "I will decide whether I leave or I stay," is not a good indicator as to what's going to happen. Now, I'm very skeptical of Theo Hernandez. Maybe he doesn't trust the process, and he probably has. He's being talked to with Real Madrid, and you can't say no to Real Madrid. So, it's more likely for Theo to leave than for Leão, from what I'm seeing and all the indicators. But
yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Theo Hernandez is our most valuable player, not in terms of money, but in terms of for the squad. He's irreplaceable. It's going to be very, very, very difficult, and it doesn't fill me with confidence that we're getting Fonseca either. But maybe that's the whole reason why Theo Hernandez is having these second thoughts. Maybe it's because of the appointment of Fonseca, and he doesn't believe in the project.
Well, listen. As far as that goes, there's two indicators here that are very telling about Theo Hernandez. And what you just have to compare this is to our direct counterparts, Inter. Inter's first maneuvers on the market this in July was to renew Barella and Lautaro Martinez to secure the best players of the team. Now look at Milan. There has been no talks about renewing Theo Hernandez. Actually, what we're hearing is Theo Hernandez say from his own mouth, saying that he doesn't know what he's going to do. So it is pretty clear that Redbird right now is waiting to see what the offers are going to be. That is what's going on. Because if they wanted to renew Theo, if they were sure about it, this operation would have already started a while back ago, and they would have already secured him by now. And that's what we wouldn't be talking about Xerxes. We would be talking about Theo Hernandez.
And Roy, also another thing I wanted to add, and I'm gonna give you a comp while I'm using this speculation as well, is Leão looks up to Cristiano Ronaldo. Right now they're at the Euros. This is popping up. Trust me, Leão has his ear to the street. He has his ear to Cristiano Ronaldo. He's listening. He's listening to what's happening. He's listening to what's happening, and Cristiano can be like, yo, maybe it's a good move, maybe it's not. He's going to try to get guidance from him. The same way when I was telling y'all years ago, the same way when Kessie, see, my people from the Ivory Coast, I knew Kessie was going to Barcelona when that link was coming. Kessie speaks to people like Yaya Toure and all these guys. That's what these players that come, they're national from these countries who they look up to, they talk. And they're like, nope, go. That's good for your career. You make that move over there. And you can see, you can't be like, nah, that's make-believe. Like, I'm telling you, bro, that those things matters. These are the things you don't quantify, but they matter. And if you see him move, and tomorrow if you see Leão in Saudi Arabia, then you're like, oh, shit. Indeed, he did listen to this dude.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I didn't even think of that, really. So,
and listen, guys, and also again, let's think pragmatically. Let's use our brains. Let's really use our brains right now. What do you think Cristiano Ronaldo would tell him?
Oh, knowing Cristiano Ronaldo, I can't lie. He would probably tell him, like, if you want to be a great, then you stay in Europe. If, however, you're looking for money or whatnot, I think Cristiano would be honest with him. He wouldn't bullshit. Not knowing his demeanor, he would tell it to him straight. You want to be a legend, and you want to be one of the greats, you stay at AC Milan or go to Real Madrid if you want or whatnot. But if you want to, invest in this project in Saudi Arabia and see how it comes out, then you stay with Saudi, then you go with Saudi. Simple as. I think he's pretty black and white.
I think there's a possibility of him doing that. I think he's going to be an ambassador for the Saudi league because that's what he's paid to do, and that's where he is at. And I think that what he's going to say to him is, if you decide to go, it's a good choice. You know, you're going to like it. You're going to be treated well. You're going to make lots of money, and the league is growing, etc., etc. But if he doesn't go, then regardless, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will give him more of a positive view on the Saudi league, because if that's what he's paid to. Cristiano Ronaldo's paid a lot of money to do that. He's paid a lot of money. Right.
You're right in that regard, but I don't know. Is really and truly, I would never blame Leão or any of these players if they were to leave, because really and truly, we're robbing them for the talent that these players have and the salaries that they're on compared to these other big name players. We are genuinely robbing the bank, and I don't know why Jerry isn't willing to, put up their wages. It's true, really and truly, it's not fair. All these big name players, they're not going to want to come to AC Milan because look at the money we're offering. I genuinely can't believe that we're not willing to give Theo Hernandez what he's asking for, and what he's even asking for is not even a lot compared to what Rashford and all these players are getting. Genuinely.
All right, so this is what we know. At least this is what I know so far. That Theo Hernandez is asking for 8 million to renew his contract, and Milan is ready to offer 7 million.
Oh my God!
So honestly, I think that's not bad. I think that is a good sign. I think that is a good sign.
Yeah, but you have to compare it to what all these other big players are getting in other leagues. They're getting paid way more. Our wage bill, thanks to Paolo Maldini, has been brought down, and we're coming from a model of we will pay a big transfer fee, but we won't give the player a lot of money wages wise. Hence why we don't even go for a lot of free agents. So I don't know. I just genuinely feel that all these players are well within their rights. In regards to Mike Mignon, Theo Hernandez, and Leão, they're well within their rights to leave, because we're robbing the bank.
For sure. Theo Hernandez is going to have to make an incredible decision, because this summer he has to decide what his best years as an athlete are going to be, because he's 26. Now he's ready to give 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. This is the best he will give. He's got only one chance. This is it.
Yeah.
So he's got to decide, am I going to give this effort to a team that is operating like Milan, or am I going to give this effort to a team that is operating like Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, where they are going in for the trophies, no questions. There's no talk of algorithms. There's no talk of Moneyball. We are playing to win the Champions League. That's going to be a big question, and they are willing to also give him the money. And this is the same thing for Leão, but Leao's situation could be the same if maybe this happens. NSM says, we're talking about Saudi, but we forget ADL is refusing to sell Kvaratskhelia, so PSG may shift to Leão. That's a good. That's true. That's possible. But I think Bayern and Real Madrid, that's different. That's a level above PSG. Like that's different. That's very different. So we got to see. We got to see how strong Milan is going to be in keeping these players.
I genuinely think if you're the management, you sit back on Theo Hernandez and you look at the offers that are coming in. Don't force anything, no matter if Theo Hernandez agrees personal terms. Just sit back and wait what happens with Leão. Then you decide Theo Hernandez's future, whether or not you're going to give him that bump up in salary. But another problem is, if we do get pulled off, well, if Leão does leave, then more likely than not, Theo Hernandez might ask for even more. And knowing this management, I don't know if they'll be willing to give it to him, even if they were up 200 million like that.
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. If Leão were to leave, and you said Leão leave and Theo's there, right? Or did you say Theo?
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah.
choosing between,
If
yeah,
Leão leaves and Theo stays, Theo is going to ask is probably going to ask for more money. He's going to be, he has to be promised a lot of good stuff, because if you're if you're letting go of the best player in the team, you know, the money maker, you know, that money maker, and also whether he's on the pitch or whether you sell him, the money maker. You know, you have to promise Leão that it's going to Theo Hernandez that's going to be a great project, because I think Theo Hernandez is going to come to me what it seems like that this is the scenario that is going to happen. This is what it seems like. Theo Hernandez is going to come a crossroads and think about, am I going to go and play the best years of my life at Real Madrid to win Champions Leagues? While Leão is going to come to a crossroads and think, am I going to go and play some of the best years? I don't think he's going to play that long in Saudi Arabia if he goes. But if he goes, am I going to go and play some of the best years of my life and get a huge bag? And that will set me up for generations to come. You know, I think both these players are going to come to this crossroads, and they're going to have to decide whether it's Milan or that. So it's going to be very interesting this summer. It's going to be a roller coaster.
Exactly. Jenny, I say keep. I mean, get rid of Leão. Still our team.
Yeah. Theo has 2 years on his contract. It's still too soon to discuss his contract. On adjustments can be. Well, usually that's when you want to. Usually, okay, like you want to secure the contract 2 years before it's done. Usually, that's how the bigger clubs do it, right? That's what you want to do, because this is where you either sell the player or you don't sell him. This is probably where you can make the most profit, you know, this year or maybe the last year of the contract. But it's usually 2 years before the end of the contract. That's where you make the decision to renew or to sell or to extend. But Milan, if they say, if Theo says I want to go, and Milan says no, I'm sorry, you're staying, he will stay till the end of his contract.
But I mean, how much can you bank that the management would find a good replacement?
I think there are good replacements. I think they're never going to be better replacements, but I think you can find something. You just got to be good. You got to be clever. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, look, aside from Alphonso Davies, I don't know two left backs that are as dynamic and as complete as those two are.
Yeah, those are the two best ones. Those are the two best ones.
Is that they're a cut above the rest, but in the left wing position, you can come up with many names that are on par with Leão, if not better. You know,
correct. Yeah, with Theo, we have the top of the class, the number one, the number one guy in the class. So with Leão, we have we don't have a player that is in the top class, but we have a player that is just below that top class that might be able to enter into that top class. When I say top class, I'm talking about Mbappe, players that are, or Vinicius now that he might even win the Ballon d'Or. So these players here that reach that level, Leão definitely has the ability to get there, but right now he's not there. He's not there just yet. And it might also be because Milan doesn't allow him to be there, but that's another conversation.
I just think Leão needs a good manager that's gonna, you know, nurture him and teach him properly how to, you know, stop, I guess, these amateur mistakes he keeps making. But besides the point, look, I'm not even confident in the management, you know, to spend 200 million like that. I don't trust them not one bit.
To spend the money on players?
Yeah, I don't trust them. I'll keep it black and white. I don't trust them.
I think they are. Because that's how they make money. It's, you know, it's these companies, investment companies, they don't hoard. They sell, and then they take a portion to buy to sell, buy. It's always fluid. It's always fluid. It goes in, it goes out. It goes in, it goes out, and it's supposed to come in always a little bit more. And you can set, and then you can spend proportionally. I think if they're going to sell the players, they're going to use that money in the market, because it's how an investment company works. They're not going to just, unless they're going to use it for the debt. That's something that has been brought up. If you're going to use that money for the debt, that's kind of fucked up. Then at that point, then the whole Milan fans need to rebel. They need to rebel. There needs to be a rebellion. But no, I think that if they get all this money, they are going to spend it on the market. I think it's in line with how they operate.
We'll have to see it. We'll just have to see. And just, boy, I mean, there's a lot of turmoil going, but we'll see what happens. I mean, best case scenario, they both stay. Yeah,
and I wish I could say most likely. You think that's what's going to happen, but I think watch out for one of these two players. Watch out for one of these two players. Celestial Lion says, "Hey Roy, are there rumors of a Tomori Tonali swap? All BS, or is there smoke?" Listen, these are rumors. This is I think Pellegatti brought this up, and he said that he had his sources. You have to take them how you want. For me, the way I approach this stuff, it comes out, we talk about it, we discuss it. It doesn't hurt to discuss it. If it ends up happening, great. If it doesn't happen, whatever. We talk about the next thing. But these are the subjects of the day. So apparently there is this rumor that Newcastle is looking to get Tomori. They're looking for a central defender. And there is a possibility of Tomori maybe wanting to go back to England so he can play in the national team. It seems like playing in Italy is not helping him with that. I think that's what Tomori is probably going to be thinking about. And someone brought up the possibility of using Tonali as a swap deal. For me, it really depends. I would say yes, but if you bring in maybe a Calafiori, yes. But Tomori, you have to replace him with a really good defender. Yeah.
I mean, to get Tonali back would be big, I love Tonali. I think he's everything great about Milan. So I would take Tonali back any day for even Tomori. I wouldn't mind Tomori leaving because obviously you can get good defenders. You can get quality defenders. A Calafiori, you can get a Calafiori, but that would cost a lot, because of the crazy PR he's been getting. So
or you can get a Buongiorno or someone else, or can be someone else.
Yeah, but even Buongiorno close to joining Napoli.
Yeah, Calafiori is close to joining Juventus. So the thing is this: if you have the money, you have to use it. But if you're going to replace Tomori with Tonali, you have solved the midfield problem, but then now you have a defense problem. You have to fill that void. I'm just saying Calafiori, Buongiorno, because these are the players I know that are in Serie A right now. They're the ones that are hot right now.
Yeah.
But there could be other ones in other leagues that I don't know about.
You don't see the comparisons to Maldini from Calafiori.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's too far. Martinelli of Arsenal will be a good replacement. I don't know Martinelli too well.
No. Now, I watched the Premier League. That guy, I've never seen a Brazilian have zero flair. I would say the good thing about him is that he's a finisher. He's clinical, but when he comes one-on-one with the defender, he isn't that good. Him and Leão are like polar opposites. Let's say Leão he can take on his man with ease. He'll just drift the ball past him and he'll roll past, but he won't finish the ball. But he's not clinical. Whereby with Martinelli, he he won't beat his man. He just won't, and he's too inconsistent. He has a lot of injuries, so no, Martinelli is a no.
I do
Yeah,
not have
but
an opinion on
you
this
know,
because I don't know.
you know, people like Martinelli, like Cafu said the best. You know, one thing I realized watching football a long time, like players with flair, right? When you look at players with flair from South America, couple of African players, mainly in Europe, most of the flair players either is Portugal or Spain or Eastern Europe, right? Eastern Europe players have flair in how they play. Eastern European and all these places I just named to you, think about your top Eastern European player ever, right? Like the Stoichkov, all these guys. Where have these guys always thrived? Not in the Premier League, brother. You see what I'm saying? They have to go to places where it welcomes flair, which Italy is a mixture, a bit of a both. Because actually, yes, true, it's catenaccio, but in Italy you can dribble because it's so tight. Like the Prem, even when you read the beginnings of like how when the Premier League come, it's rugged, right? It is this rugged ball. We kick the ball, bring it to the center. It's not until Pep and all these guys went there that they started to improve they started to improve the whole there's some type of flair going on, but I'm using that. It does not correlate with Brazilians. Like the way you're brought up, the culture has a lot to do.
That's a really good point
You're not
because
gonna be allowed to go over there and dribble and do all your crazy things or have that flair. Somebody like a Neymar, you think at his age, or even Vinicius Jr. You think if they were bought by, forget Man City, right? You think if they were bought at Man United and or all these guys, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Cristiano is probably how would I say that? It's a 1 in a million type, right? People like Azar is more ball control. Yeah, he has a flair, but it's not showboating like crazy. You're not allowed to do that in England. It's not even in their culture because it's a rugged people, and that's why Brazil, their quality is so diminished because these kids. When you say Martinelli, if Martinelli would have went to, let's say Spain, he'd have went to a Villarreal or started in La Liga or went somewhere in Italy, you would have seen it would have been a different story. But they all go to the Premier League and they really killed the Brazilians. When you talk about people like Rafinha, he comes from Leeds. I mean, look how he plays, man. Look how he plays.
Well, let me say this. There's something interesting here. When the Brazilians had a super team, which was the 90s and the 2000s, all of those players played in Spain and Italy, in the best teams of Spain and Italy. And there is, you're right, like those players that played in Spain and Italy were much more compact, much more, I don't know, they just had a stronger mentality. They were smarter. They were incredible. You didn't have many players playing in England. Right now, a lot of the players play in England, and the football there maybe does not suit. You're right. Maybe the football there does not suit the Brazilians.
Because in those places you just named, it's more of the movement of the ball. In England, it's more of the movement of the player, meaning the physicality. You need speed, which essentially really kills on what you do. So you don't thrive. Like, look, you look at players like Luka Modric. Modric started at Tottenham, right? But he thrived when he went to Madrid because those places allow you to express yourself with the ball. It's not. You have to be smart in those two leagues, right? In Italy, you have to be smart. They're not going to give you space to just be running like a loose chicken. Same in Spain, right? In Spain, it's not about just be running, left to right. It's more, how do you move? How does the ball move? You have to think. Why people like Lamine Yamal, they play the way they play. You understand? They play the way they play is because it's part of that concept of football. In the 90s, the way British they used to play, to a certain extent, it worked. Physicality a little bit. I know they want to implement, but it's not within their culture, right? And it's fine. It suits the Brits. It's fine. But for somebody that comes from Brazil, that starts off in that league in Brazil where they still have the flair, right? They use what's called like.
I mean, it's a cultural thing, right? It's
Yeah,
just
it's a cultural thing, for sure.
the Latin nations, play a certain kind of
even
football.
Argentina, same thing. Argentinians don't really succeed in England either, right?
Or
South Americans as a whole. right? Because the players that they call, oh, this is the top South American or the top Brazilian, you look, the best Brazilians are always came from Spain or Italy.
Yeah,
Like,
and right
that's
now,
the reality.
right now, you know, I think of Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, and what's that, Militao. I think that's good play. If you're of a national team, you're happy to have those players there. Then your midfield. If you're of a Brazilian national team, you want your midfield to be either in Italy or Spain. I don't know who their midfield is. Who's in the midfield?
Yeah, they don't have a good midfield right now. I mean, the Douglas Luiz guy, he's leaving Aston Villa, but he's going to, you know.
And who else
Don't
do
get
they
me
have?
wrong. In
Well,
the
they
past,
had Casemiro, who was in Real Madrid. He was
right,
amazing.
but and don't get me wrong. In the past, somebody like Gilberto Silva at Arsenal, he was.
Oh
there,
yeah, he was one of the exceptions.
but he's an exception. He wasn't like really the standard compared to like your typical Brazilian midfielder. When you think about Ronaldinho, you think about Kaká.
He adapted well to England.
You go all the way back. Even France. France is always a good part where Brazilians, like people like Rai, Ronaldinho, like France was always also been a good outlet for Brazilians to express themselves, because France, again, they allow flair. Portugal, another thing. That's why a lot of Brazilians, when they go to Portugal, they succeed. They allow you to express yourself with the ball. And I'm speaking mainly for Brazil. I'm not comparing in terms of different leagues or whatsoever. It's just for a Brazilian. I think it's really imperative for them to go. And we see time and time again, Brazil's best players do come, especially their attacking players, because that's what Brazil, the whole beef with Brazil right now is like their best attacking players, or they're playing mid, is because these guys do not play. You know, they decide to go to England. Like you talk about the Rafinha and all these guys. It's important for them to go to places like.
Who's the midfield? The midfield. What's the midfield of Brazil right now?
Man, it switches. I know. Let me sit there and think. You know, before they didn't call this Copa America is going to be a different lineup. But if we go back from World Cup 2022, they had Casemiro in that midfield.
Okay. So who are these guys? Jay Gomez?
Yeah, I don't know him, bro. I don't know. A lot of new Brazilian players are so mid that I don't know them.
Guimarães.
Yeah, Guimarães plays. He plays at Newcastle. That's another one.
Okay.
Guimarães
I know him. I know him.
He plays at Newcastle.
Then it's a 4-2-3-1. Rodrigo, Lucas Paquetá, Rafinha, very offensive.
There you go. Paquetá also plays in England. Like,
that's the problem.
That's what I'm talking about,
no,
bro.
But this is an issue. It's not an issue with the players with Brazil. I'm looking at this, and they are still doing the same mistake. This is just there's no balance in this team. It's just like attack. There's no balance. They're going to come short every time.
But it's also the reality. Also, who are Brazilian players producing in these academies, right? Does everybody wants to be? You know, does the top talent? Because Brazil also, the greater scheme of things, they need to start thinking. They need to start converting the way they converted, like the Ederson and all these guys, to certain roles going forward. Because if all these guys want to be mini Neymars, you know, in the academies, but that's what you run into. Now you don't know, you don't got no defensive midfield, and you got to rely on mid-level players. Look at the right back and the left back situation. They don't have any. Either it's an attacker, somebody that was playing really attack that had to convert into a left back or right back. Because you explained to me how somebody like Alexandro, for the past how many years, he has a starting role in that Brazil, because it's been really poor in that side.
I mean, listen,
Alexandro from Juve.
Huh?
Yeah. Alexandro, yeah.
Damn.
But I'm looking at for the players. Like, if you had a coach, I mean, I don't know what the federation. Does the federation want the Globetrotters? Like, is this the thing? Like, you want to show the globe? If you want to be like a Globetrotters kind of team, like, you're always going to come short. And this kind of style is like you're not going to win trophies.
The reason why it's knee-jerk reaction with some of these players is panicking. Brazil's last World Cup they won was 2002. Brazil's last most probably relevant team, I'll say 06. Some people might argue 2014. For me, I'll probably say 2006 was probably the most relevant team, where it had the superstar power. After that, it's been a struggle for identity, because again, about these players, Your top players are going to the Prem, from the Gabriel Jesus and all these guys. Now with the Vinny and all these guys, they can start something new. They can really start something new. But they need to go back. They need to go back to their roots instead of try to imitate the Europeans. And
well, I don't know if that's the case, dude. I think what I'm seeing from this formation that I'm seeing here against USA, it looks like they need to stop with this. Let's put, this 12 wingers and one defender on the pitch.
Again, like I'm telling you, it's a new coach. It's a new coach.
They have to actually be a little bit smarter and like, bring back the Dungas, the Emersons, these kind of guys, and put a little bit more of that in your team, and then that solves the problem. Now I see they're going through a generational change.
I think the biggest problem of Brazil right now, there's been the problem, their biggest elephant in the room, Brazil has not have a proper 9 ever since maybe let's say Luis Fabiano. And I don't really rate the guy, but Luis Fabiano probably, they have not had a proper number 9, bro. Like that's
what about Richarlison?
Achilles heel, huh?
What about Richarlison?
He's not a 9, bro. He's not a 9, brother. He's not a 9. They want to put him in arrow. He's not a number 9. And you see that time and time again. See, the problem is this: Brazil is running into the Madrid situation without having the Madrid situation. Even against the USA, I watched the whole game. There's nobody in the box. It's easy to pinpoint because all you got to do, you got to keep Vinny and all these guys on the touchline. You got nobody to cross to. You got nobody to be able to hold the ball, and that's the reality. That's why Rodrigo. Those are not natural born 9. Yeah. Brazil has not had number 9. That's why they have a hard time scoring. Even if you look at the World Cup against Croatia, the same thing. Richarlison and all these guys, those are not proper 9s, and you can tell.
I mean, with this formation, honestly, with the formation I'm seeing here, take Rafinha out and put Ederson in the midfield, and then have a 4-3-1-2 Rodrigo Jr. Now you're right. That is an issue they're going to have. They don't have a real center forward, and it looks like that.
And their real center forward.
But you can make it happen, right? We saw Spain dominate the world with a false 9, so you can make it happen.
Yeah, they can. But is that in their nature? Because that's really part of their struggle, man. It's so part of their struggle. Even when you look, because with major tournaments. Right? With major tournaments, even if your number 9 is not firing, or from World Cups to Euros, right? We can go back. We can do 08 for a minute. You look at that 08 in Spain. 08, when Spain wins, they have somebody like a Fernando Torres. They have David Villa. 2012, same thing. You even look at the World Cup. They still got these guys out there, right? You even look at how you call that 2014 when Germany won. They have closer out there. You look at France 2018, they have Giroud. That 9 in major tournaments sometimes is crucial. Not everybody is Spain. They don't do tiki-taka to be able to have a false 9.
Don't they have Richarlison? What happened to Richarlison?
Richarlison is not a 9. He's a second striker.
He's for Tottenham, he's been playing as
but he's definitely more.
But no, he's not a 9. Listen. He's not a 9. He's never been a 9. Even at Everton, before he even went to Tottenham, even when he's at Tottenham, he doesn't operate as a 9 even in those places. He's a second striker. It's because Brazil does not have no forward that they put him in that role. That's a fact.
No. I can't agree with that. I mean, I've watched a couple of games for Spurs. He played as an out-and-out striker. I mean, he was on a hot form this season, like 10 goals in 10 games.
Spurs started doing that after what they saw at the World Cup. They innovate with him.
Yeah.
Richarlison is not a 9, and you can tell. Go look at his numbers.
Not having a 9 is definitely going to mean you have to modify the way you play. But I think the biggest problem for me is just that this formation is just way too forward thinking. It's just way too unbalanced up top. And these players, like I know these players, none of these guys have a high work rate. Rodrigo, Lucas Paqueta, Rafinha, Vinicius Jr., all great with the ball, but they do not have a high work rate in compared to other teams, other top teams.
Because Casemiro is old. He's the one that used to be the work rate. Even you go back 2018, right? I said 2018, Casemiro taking that red in 2018. Casemiro getting that yellow card where he missed the game against Belgium was their downfall because he's the one keeping that balance in front of the defense, and that's why Belgium was able to eliminate them. And like you said, that balance is really needed, because you look at Argentina, for example, you got somebody like a McAllister, fucking 3 lungs. Rodrigo De Paul, fucking 3 lungs.
Yeah,
They're all
you
protecting in
need
front.
2 of these guys like that. Now Gomez and
Guimaraes, or however you say in Portuguese. I need Roy's going to correct me.
I don't know if they're
Guimaraes.
that level. I don't know if they're that level, but
I mean, Guimaraes is a good player, but it's a good player based on what they have, right? It's not the Brazil with the top man. You got to think, Brazil, before they had people like Emerson, people as talented as Emerson, for example, they didn't even see the team of Brazil. That's how much plethora of midfields they had in the day.
yeah, but remember something about Brazil. Brazil had an incredible generation in the 70s with Pelé being the head, being the head of that. But then they went 20 years of great football, but without many
I heard
results.
Zico. From what I hear, Brazilians always tell me that Zico generation is like the golden generation for real.
And they didn't win much with that. I don't think they won at all. They didn't win. They didn't win that generation. And then the 90s,
that's where they started to come back.
You had a new comeback, and a lot of the players there, Roberto Carlos, Cafu,
Romario.
These guys played in a lot of them in Barcelona, Milan, Real Madrid.
They were playing
Roma,
in Holland at the time as well, which was a good league at that time.
Yeah, Holland also. Yeah, Holland is a good league for these kind of players, the more like technical players. But now this generation, I don't know. Let's see what it's like. I agree that maybe the center forward. Actually, no, for sure they need more center forward.
So their wish Brazil right now is for Endrick to really, and that's what for me. That's why I foresee a problem, because if Mbappe starts firing at Madrid, Mbappe rarely gets injured. I cannot see Endrick growing up in that team, especially if he's supposed to be the next hope. If he's supposed to be the next hope of the entire generation, like in Brazil, he's going to need to play. At his age, he just needs to play. He can't play second fiddle. So
look, listen, one thing that Brazil is always going to have is incredible forwards and incredible tacticians and people, not technicians, sorry, and people that just are incredible with the ball. What they got to figure out is the middle, I think that's it. Because, I mean, Endrick, too, that guy's incredible. If another striker, if he can get a center forward there, but, yeah, they have that part down. It's the rest that maybe there's an issue.
And especially their left and right backs have been poor for the past few years, man.
Yeah, that's true.
They struggle with those left, especially if you play attacking football. You need those type of guys. I think the last probably good ones were probably Maicon and Dani Alves. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean those guys.
What about Marcelo?
Marcelo is still part of that generation, man.
Absolutely.
Marcelo is still part of that generation as well. Like with the Maicon and all these guys, Marcelo is part of that generation for sure. Marcelo started really young. He went to Madrid at 18. So he's been playing football for a long time.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, Brazil is always going to be, a top contender. Even when they have a bad generation, they're still going to be a top contender.
I think they are. But I think Brazil needs to do what Argentina did. Argentina fell in that trap. Argentina has so much talent. They wanted to do forward. It wasn't working out because Argentina has so many, like top from Higuain. Everybody went in their prime all of a sudden. Messi and all these guys, they didn't know what to do, right? And you saw, they saw from the World Cups, they understood. You see the last World Cup, they understood. They're just playing defensive. Everybody played for Messi. The way they play this World Cup, Argentina doesn't really sit back and play all this crazy shit. That was never them.
But you know what? I'm going to say something controversial. Mm-hmm. I'm about to say something really, really, really controversial.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
If I'm Argentina, I'm more worried than Brazil is. Because I think once Messi is out, Argentina is not going to be seen for many, many, many years.
I think you can say that. I think that Messi has won a generational talent. But I think that Argentina, they'll be able to have enough star power, kind of when they had like Crespo, Cambiaso, and all these guys, Solari and all that, the Redondo, they're going to have a mold of that with the Julian Alvarez. There's always going to have talent, but talent like Messi, I mean, you're not even going to see that again. But Argentina, that's a footballing country, so somebody's going to come out of there.
Oh, Argentina will always have great talent. Yeah, but it'll always be a top team. They'll always be one of the favorites, no matter what.
The people that where I agree with you with that is more like teams like Belgium. Like those are teams, they don't really have golden generations, and once the golden generation goes away with Belgium, those are the teams where you say for a long time we're not going to see maybe Belgium like, you know, having another, because Argentina is always going to give you a golden generation. They might not be at the level of Messi, but somebody's going to come out, and I think they'll be fine.
There's always someone,
because they take their academy serious.
Antonio's here. What's up, Antonio? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, guys? Dude, I've just been busy, but I was at work today and I just checked my phone and I'm seeing notifications that say Hernandez is gone, that say Leão is gone.
Where are you getting these notifications?
Can you guys hear me?
Where are you getting
these
notifications? Can you guys hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Hello? You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, everything's good, right?
No, I know that. Celeste and I know that. I'm just saying that, you know, when it comes to the World Cup, Argentina is always going to be strong, but I don't know. Messi is, for some reason, Argentina has this ability to really go behind like a player like Maradona, Messi. they need another one of those. They need another Messi, another Maradona. Roy, Antonio, can you fucking hear us or what? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Dude, someone called me just now, so I had to hang up. But
okay.
Did you hear? Wait, what was I saying when I got cut off?
Just start again. Just start over.
I was saying I was at work today. I saw notifications about my Teo leaving, Leão leaving, Xerxes not done yet, and I was very optimistic as always. It's like for me, my biggest thing is.
Wait, where were you getting these notifications from?
Like, oh no, I just checked my Twitter super fast, like, because I don't go on my phone much. But yeah, like I feel like the beginning of every mercato so far, like it's just been awful, and it sort of confirms that this is what we know this is what's going to happen. They're going to sell one of them. I don't think they're going to sell both. They could sell both, but they're probably just going to sell one. And I think like there's a very high chance that they sell one of them. And
well, hold on, Antonio. Yeah. Like we have to be careful how we say. They're not going to sell Leão. Leão is going to be its release clause. They have no choice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but that's up to Leão, to be fair. But
yeah,
I think if they sell Leão, you take the money and you pay Hernandez, because if you get rid of Hernandez and if that happens, then the fans are clearly going to be against that. My biggest concern is this. I don't know if you guys probably talked about all the news, but maybe you can like tell me some information. But I saw that this Emerson Palmieri link today, and I'm thinking like that to me is fishy, because if you're getting a left back like that, and I mean I don't like him. I don't think he's okay. Like he was okay for Italy. He's not a bad player, but if you're getting someone like that, I'm worried that means that you're going to settle with him and that you could be fine with selling Hernandez like that. So for me, I'm very concerned because Hernandez, that's a big gap in quality right there.
If we replace Teo Hernandez with Emerson Palmieri, we might as well close up shop, come back next summer, and start over again. Because
he's Italian, Roy. Didn't you say you want an Italian core?
No. I want no. I want the top guys. I want the top echelon. If we replace Teo Hernandez with Emerson Palmieri, yeah, we might as well just close up shop for the year, come back next summer, see what happens.
Here's my thing. So I was saying, like, is it really like, does Jerry think he's that good? Like, do they think that they're like, are they proud of themselves? Because if they just sell players that we've developed and use that to fund a mercato and also to save for the stadium and all that, like, what does he want, a pat on the back? Like Like, and then like it's just like
I
sad.
I don't know about this link with Emerson Palmieri. So this came up today. What is the link? I haven't seen it yet. I find it a little bit ridiculous. Like I'm not even considering it because it's such a ridiculous proposition that
it's Milan I think that posted it on Twitter.
It's Di Marzio, guys.
Oh, Di Marzio?
DiMarzio?
Oh shit.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
I mean, who's this Emerson?
He is he's a defender. He plays for a national team. He's Brazilian. Plays for the Italian national team. He was part of the Euro team. He was the second choice after Spinazzola. He came in the semifinal and the final. He did good.
He used to be at Napoli, right? He used to be at Napoli, and then he went to Chelsea.
I don't know.
Yeah,
where.
Because
I don't even know where
Sarri brought him at Chelsea, and then from Chelsea they loaned him to Leão in France.
Oh wow!
And then he went back to Chelsea, and then he's at Aston Villa now. They sold him over there, definitely.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, listen. Okay, I'm going to be fair to the guy. Like he is professional, but the problem is that the difference between him and Theo Hernandez is incredible. There was already a huge difference between him and Spinazzola. So imagine the difference between him and Theo Hernandez.
Like Theo Hernandez really spoiled us as a fucking player, bro. So the standards are so high for that left wing.
And I'm seeing it right now. Gianluca Di Marzio, 2 hours ago, il Milan si muove per Emerson Palmieri. Milan is, let me see how they translate it.
My news skills aren't that bad. Let's go.
Milan is going in for Emerson Palmieri. Di Marzio. That's not good if Di Marzio says that. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hey, later, Fadinho.
So you haven't talked about this yet? I thought I just like
I thought it was such a ridiculous thing.
No, I only believe the reliable journalists, so I wouldn't waste your time with like if it was coming from like some random person, but that's concerning. How old is the guy now? He's got to be like almost like 30, right?
I'm not sure. Like Emerson will be great if you keep Theo Hernandez and you have Emerson. Hey, okay. Now I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's good. But if you're replacing them, it's like let me see what his profile is. Emerson Palmieri, 29. So he's about to turn 30 in August.
So you're gonna replace Theo with an older player? Like, come on, bro. Make it make sense.
This is so strange to me. It doesn't make sense. This operation
is that what Ibra came to Milan for? Because if Ibra has really come, he said he wants to win, then he's gonna have to give real reasons why we selling two of our best players out of our team and being linked to these replacements. And that's why I was telling you earlier, Roy, when you said like 275 million with this management, like look who we're being linked to already. Like it's just, to me, it's just silly, bro. It's really silly. The coach didn't help. See, if we got a top coach and we're getting these players, then we're like, okay. But there's two red flags already. And I don't want to alarm myself. I'm gonna wait for the Euros, but yeah, no, I don't like the sound of anything from Emerson Real to Emerson Palmieri. Get all the fucking Emersons then. Fucking hell, bro. Like this shit is insane, man.
Emerson Ramos and Palmieri. Yeah, very strange. Just very strange. Makes no sense. It's not a Moneyball operation. This makes more sense to me as a reinforcement. Like if it's a reinforcement, this makes sense. I think this is actually a really good reinforcement, you know. But if it's to replace Theo Hernandez, that's such a dip in levels. It's a little bit discerning. I think we're most at risk of losing Leão more than Theo, in my opinion. It says Ace. I see another message here. AC Milan have opened new contracts to sign Yusuf Fofana from AS Monaco. This is not an easy deal as Juventus, Atletico, and more than one Premier League club are interested in the midfielder. A decision will be made in July. So competition for Fofana.
But I think in this, Milan can really win it because Juve right now, if
French
they
connection.
get Douglas Luiz, I mean, Atletico is going to be hard because is he guaranteed a starting role? And then if he goes to Madrid, I mean, are you expected to win the trophy there or compete with Madrid? Madrid is super loaded. Why would you go to Atletico, right? What proposition do they have over us? Maybe to go deep in it.
There's a big French connection with Milan. I mean, I think that really plays a good role in it.
Because, with Simeone and all that stuff, it doesn't always work out. So it's going to be weird. So I'm not going to see him at the Euros. He didn't do much when he came in today, so I can't really speak.
Oh, let's talk about France a little bit, huh? What happened today? What the hell happened?
No, I think one thing people are underestimating is this, man. I'm going to put this, and I think people are forgetting. Ragnick, before the Euro started, even when they were mentioning his name, I was reading in media, German media, they said he did a good job with that Austrian team. Not just what he was doing on the pitch, but off the field. That's why he didn't want to leave that job to entertain Bayern Munich. Because he's almost like I won't say the sporting director, but he's just not the coach. He's in charge of that federation, like from a sporting view. So he's doing some magic there. So I knew going to this game, France was not about to run over them at all. Like with Ragnick at all. And there was no way. And France needs to tell themselves, lucky, these tournaments are not easy, man. A win is a win. As long as you win, you're good. Because they could have got an ugly surprise and lose and underestimating their team, and they got kicked out the Euros. I think France learned their lesson from the past Euros when they got knocked out by Switzerland. So it's yes, they struggled, but without going into what player play by play, I think overall, I think they should be happy based on how these Euros even panned out for different teams.
Yeah, I agree. Ragnick has a very crazy style of play. My criticism with Ragnick's style of play is that he can't sustain that for long. Those players are going to get injuries. They're going to fucking pass out before the group stages even start. That style of football is just way too exhausting. I don't know. I don't know if Ragnick is making right decisions there, but I think if their objective is just to go through the group stages, and that's how he wants to play these 3 games, yeah. But obviously, if your objective is to go far, you can't play like this. Like you're gonna destroy.
But what is good, a team like Austria, at least they have an identity, and I think Austria nowadays, they have, with RB Salzburg, they have a team that competes in the Champions League. It's a team that's gonna be difficult for you to just come there and beat.
Oh yeah, no, they're going to be super difficult.
They're not there for you to just run a train on them and give you points. So
yeah,
France, these teams in the Euro have to understand that. You see what happened to Belgium today with Slovakia. I mean, I was watching the entire game. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous. People said Belgium dominated. Yeah, sure. People like Lobotka, he held his ground. Him and Duda. I mean, come on.
Lobotka's a genius, man. Lobotka is such a fucking genius.
Yeah, so
I didn't see the game, but about France, I think France, on the other hand, obviously got lucky. France, I think what the French can come out of is thinking, okay, there's a lot of room to grow. We know we have the talent. I think France, because of the midfield they have, they're just not going to be able to dominate.
Here's the problem with France, Roy. I'm going to tell you this one biggest indication when I watched the entire game.
What?
The problem with France right now, number one, the same as Brazil, France has a number 9 problem, which is a big issue. Number 2, Mbappe and Thuram cannot start together. They can't. They both play the same position. If you watch the entire game, Thuram, they played a 4-3-3. Thuram is at the center. He was supposed to play that 9 role. Thuram kept drifting to the left, which forced Mbappe to go to the right each time or go to the center. Mbappe is not telling the height. He likes going into the side, which tells me at Madrid, it might be a similar issue. So you have both of them on the same side, not knowing what to do, and they just close up shop. That's why the Mbappe goal came from the right. Even if you saw, I know it's like an auto goal, but like it came from the right, and Thuram was just, he kept drifting to that left hand side, which was really impeding when Mbappe, compared to like when a Giroud and Benzema is in that middle, they're gonna stay center and deviate the ball and then allow these people to run in behind. You couldn't even have that with Theo Hernandez. Other than that,
Yeah.
when Theo Hernandez run, it's like it was just clogged. That whole left inside was clogged, and it just showed that was one issue at least.
You know, I always look at the midfield and the midfield to me is strong, but it's not a midfield that knows how to hold the ball. I don't think they have any players there, maybe except for the PSG guy, Zaire Emery, that knows how to really hold the ball and play and dictate tempo. I think France is probably going to become a team that's going to play with a low block and then go with counterattack, and they can win it that way. They can win it when they do.
And that's the ideal situation to do. But the problem is, Austria allowed France to hold the ball, and they didn't know what to do with that because they're a good counterattacking team, which tells me against the Netherlands, I think counterattack France will be great. Them be able to have the ball. They no longer have like a Pogba in the past that was able to distribute efficiently. Yeah, Conte did his job, but like, he's not really a distributor. He sits in front of defense. So they need, I agree. The counterattack part, that's another element. They have to be more on the other end where like they counterattack you. They're almost like Madrid. You let France possess the ball. Griezmann is a 10, but Griezmann is good when it's time for those counterattacking balls, giving the ball up, because they're players, they're just runners, and you don't have a center forward to be able to like to hold the ball, to do all that possessive nonsense.
Yeah, so they're going to. I think they have a really good team that can win it if you play a certain way. But I think we saw a lot of problems that they might have, because if you already look at Germany, Spain, and also maybe even Italy, like they're going to lose the midfield battle with those teams.
Yeah, the defense is also another big problem with France. I'm a Picano he's too error prone. Saliba is new. The chemistry is not even there with that back line, right? Varane is no longer there, so there's not experience really on that back line. Yes, they went to the final, but Upamecano can make a lot of silly mistakes, and that's another thing. I mean, you even saw in the game. So that's another thing they're going to have to really. Lucas Hernandez is injured, so he's not there. That's the starting CB. That was the starting CB with Varane. If Lucas Hernandez was there, he's more of a veteran. He could have tempered. Upamecano is too clumsy in like the way he does things. Silly red cards. You see him at Bayern, even in the final, in the World Cup final, the same things, man. He's like a mini De Ligt, damn near. I'm serious.
Magnan looked good, by the way.
Yeah,
Magnan was incredible.
Yeah,
player of the match for me.
He was good, but that's but with France, their defense, that's going to be a problem, man. That's going to be a problem.
It's not the super strong France that we saw maybe a few tournaments ago, but it's always one of the strongest teams in the tournament.
Yeah, but in the tournament, you're gonna need a team that's on the same page, that's compact.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna win this tournament, right? You can't just rely on Mbappe. Like if they don't come, like in 2018, France came with a plan when they won that World Cup. Yeah. They had a system of play. Everybody knew their position. Conte knew what to do. Conte just came back, like literally, it's his first time. This is his first game for France, damn near. So. That
Pogba counter midfield was incredible.
But the chemistry is also not there. Is new guys in? Why not keep the Tchouaméni, the Camavinga, and then move on with them? So
even with these guys, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, I don't think you're going to dominate the midfield. Like these guys are good, but they're not Pogba good.
No, the reason why I say you might dominate is because of the chemistry they both have, because they play in the same team. Because right now you have a lot.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Rabiot and all these. He hasn't really played next to. There was a mismatch in that midfield, and you can just tell. Nobody knows what to do, and it's not that core as he's doing. And even in the attack, Mbappe now is playing with a series of new players. The other than him and Griezmann doesn't understand it, but with Thuram, you saw today that Mbappe doesn't play enough even with Thuram. And you can just tell there's not that understanding that's there. And compared to like if you play with Benzema and what happens, because Mbappe wants the one touch from the or even what Giroud would do with him, or one touch, and then he runs in the box. And the person who's supposed to fulfill that role was Thuram, but he ends up in the left with him, and there's nobody in there in the box, and they don't know what to do. And that Danso dude from Austria, oh my God, that's a defender.
Austria,
right
man.
there.
I remember Austria when we played against Austria in the last Euro. Bro, that was the hardest game of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
That was the team that gave Italy the most problems in the whole fucking tournament.
Yeah, because these Eastern European teams, I mean, Austria is an Eastern European team.
Austrian is Central European.
No, I mean, but I say Eastern just based on like geopolitical. I mean, once you go, for me, you go past Germany. For me, there is more Eastern. And I know it's not a thing, but it's just Eastern in terms of.
I'd say they're more German, but I guess what. Yeah.
Okay. So it's more like the Eastern. It's just that those blocks, like, they play as a team. Like, they don't care. They don't have the name players, and I think in tournaments where you don't have the name players, you bleed for your team instead of somebody's looking for stats or try to do what they have to do. Look at Belgium today, bro. They didn't play as a team. They didn't even know what the fuck was going on. They were doing whatever, and that's why it wasn't panning out.
Hey guys, a question.
Yeah.
You probably already talked about this, but it's a random question. Did you guys see that Abate is coaching Ternano now?
Yeah.
I have a question. Why not just appoint him as the under-23 coach?
And this is why Gio was so angry at the management. He said,
"I'm sorry, but I don't like Bonnet as a coach. He gives me L vibes. Like, have you seen that guy?"
Well, Bonetta is the only.
I'm not judging
Milan
his
coach.
appearance.
But Bonetta is the only Milan coach to have 100% record. So
no, he doesn't anymore.
Just letting you know.
Oh,
he got
killed by Roma in the friendly, if that means anything.
He lost that against Roma.
Wait, but is he he was a defender, right?
In official matches, it's still intact.
Wasn't he a defender as a player?
Yeah, it was a defender. No, it's a good question. He's Abate's going to Serie C, so why not just go to Serie C? But I think that I don't know why they chose Bonetta, because also, like, there's a vested interest to bring the team to Serie B, since the team can go to Serie B. And if you have a team performing in Serie B, that's even better, man. That's gold. You have your pipeline right there, just already set up, players playing in Serie B. Like, that's it. You don't need to fucking spend a dime on the market.
Milan pipeline should be Philadelphia Union. So they should bring their players.
Hey, if you guys want to know anything about that, let me know.
No, that is, man. They got that young American kid, was it Philly Calvin or whatever, going to
Calvin Sullivan.
Yeah, Calvin Sullivan. Shit. That's what Milan needs to do. Jerry would be happy about that. Shit.
Look at this. Abate may have not kissed the ring. These Moneyball dreams are very insecure. Wow.
Jerry's ring.
Wow.
What are we doing, by the way? What is going on? Why aren't we getting players? Like, this is a
well, listen. The market starts in July, so right now nobody can really officialize any signings.
Fonseca's like right now he's like Jerry's servant, like waiting for the.
And also, there has been some issues with Juventus and Douglas Luiz, because McKennie now is asking for some demands that are considered too much. So, Juventus also now might be getting into their troubles too.
She's trying to stay with fucking Fratezi's sister. She's not trying to move out of Italy, man. That plays a big part, man. So it's like, who wants to go to England? They don't have good food. So,
well, yeah.
He got wifed up. See, he got wifed up by Italian bra, so it's hard to leave now. So now he's stuck there.
What else is there? Let's see.
Also, I think we run the risk. My problem is those deals should have been closed, especially if you're targeting players that were supposed to go to the Euros. Now you're just opening a wound, you're opening the floodgates for other teams to come outbid you when time comes, especially if they have a perfect tournament. So you take out the Calafiori, for example. If you were looking at him now, his price is going to go up. If you were looking at Xerxes, if you didn't secure Xerxes before you leave, well, his price is going to go up.
Well, the agent, his price will stay the same, but his agent might.
It's all these things. You start looking at these players. I want to get him now. Everybody wants to get him. So, and especially these new teams all the teams have new coaches now, so there's going to be a lot of requests in the market, which is just going to tamper with your own market. So we'll see.
Hey,
Yeah,
Roy.
they have to. Yeah, what's up?
No, I was gonna tell you, like, I mean, listen, I don't think this has ever happened, but you could make a pretty sick team this Mercato, like, with the players
Fuck.
that are.
With the players that are what?
You can make a really good team with the players that are available in the Mercato.
Oh, absolutely, you can.
Like you sell
wait,
Leão, you get Chiesa, you get
Yeah.
freaking
Xerxes?
Xerxes, whatever, Scamacca if you can, but I doubt it. But
No, you get Xerxes because that's the guy that is available. Chiesa is available. Xerxes is available. You get these guys.
Yep, and then you get some.
Amrabat is also available. He's on the move. You secure Amrabat.
Man, what are these? I don't know. That's so. I don't want to listen. I'd like to keep Leão, to be honest, but I'm just saying, like, you can make. There's some moves there. We should be at least trying. You know what I mean? I don't see any links with these players.
Yeah, Maldini a few years ago said that Milan doesn't need to make any sales to build, to have a strong mercatos. So I don't know if these guys are going to be the same.
Oh yeah, Roy. Also, I didn't get to speak on the last time you did a live, but did you guys talk about the wafer guy?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, he's the vanilla wafer. He's he's like, okay, listen. I respect the Dutch league, but here's the thing: I saw this. I saw this guy playing, like, in some of the friendly games, and I think did he play this first year? I don't know. I don't think he played in the first. Maybe I don't know if he got subbed in, but he wasn't starting for the first Dutch game. But listen, he's not bad, but when I saw him play, he made some mistakes that basically led to goals in the friendly games, and you could tell that he was like scared. Like the guy is like a coward. Like he gives me like L vibes when I saw him play. Like I mean, maybe he plays better with Feyenoord, but if like on the national team, the guy was scared, man. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So listen, he could be good, he could be talented, but I could see him having a lot of issues adapting. And I'm really worried.
Celta now get Emerson and Queefer. Okay, I don't know this guy, so I'll take your word for it. Bantered. Andre coming available. He said, I will tell news that will shake the world of sports. He has an announcement on the 20th. Andrick. I will tell news that will shake the world of sports.
Well, everyone knows. What's the news?
Well, he's joining Real Madrid.
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
So Tiziano Crudeli to Calciomercato. I have spoken with Ibra and Tonali can come back. And this is his words.
What the hell? You trust Ibrahimovic? My goodness.
No. No, I'm just reading this. Okay, I'm just reading what Tiziano Crudeli said, and let's see what he says. Tiziano, do you know who Tiziano Crudeli is?
Goal, Milan!
It's that fucking old dude that be tweaking in the fucking studio.
Right.
Dude looks like he's about to get a fucking stroke.
Yeah, that's right.
God, bro.
That guy.
Go.
I'll be watching it. I'm like, yo, what the? Between him and Suma, but he's more crazier. I like Suma's commentary. I ain't gonna lie, but that Crudeli dude, it's like his eyeballs is about to pop out, bro. Fucking hell.
Brava.
Anyway, so he said he's the one that brought up this rumor about Tonali coming back, maybe Tomori going back to Newcastle as an exchange. What do you guys think about this?
Dude, I would do it in a heartbeat. I love Tomori. I'm sorry, but Tonali is him. He's the player. Now, if Tonali is mentally stable, of course. I mean, like, that's the thing. I doubt this would ever happen because I don't see Milan making a risk. I don't see this like the Moneyball people making a risk on a player like that. I also don't see them buying back players because I feel like they want to be super efficient. So it's like, oh, we'll just get a cheaper guy with lower wages and we'll try to like replace him like that. But for me, this is a no-brainer because Tonali, first of all, he's Italian, and I think that he is the guy that comes into the Italy midfield if everything goes right for him, and he can replace Jorginho or whatever. Not the same play style, but he can be that midfielder. And you know, he was so good for us. Like he gave so much balance. If you put him and like one other midfielder with Reinders for me in a midfield three, like someone who's solid, then you're looking good. Like you're looking good.
I want to hear Clint's opinion on this and also Abdi, but I just saw someone's comment, and it talks about the salary of Tonali. I don't see this happening. How does this even work? Tonali's getting such a large salary.
What is he making? Like 10 million or something? 12 million?
But he'll cut it again, as he did before he joined us. Shit. If he really cares to come back.
I wonder if Tonali like offered. I feel like I don't know, but imagine like
he's better off. Watch this. He's better off restarting his career after all this little debacle, his little addiction that happened. He's better off restarting his career in Milan than restarting it at Newcastle. I promise you.
Dude, this reminds me of like
I promise you.
This reminds me of like kind of like Jadon Sancho or like the million other players where you sell them for money and then you get them back.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Because also him being out the field, right? Newcastle doesn't have Champions League football next year, and if they don't do, actually, I think Newcastle has to sell players. I think they're also in that loop for the FPP where they also have to sell players, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro.
So they're not going to be crazy on the market like as we thought it would be the next big Man City. That's not going to happen for the next 2-3 years. So he's looking at it like, yo, I need to. They still got that English coach over there. Is stuff not panning out? I mean, Aston Villa is going to the Champions instead of them. Aston Villa might even be a better team next year compared to, again, of their Newcastle. So Newcastle, maybe if they're lucky enough, they're even going to get fucking Europa League. I don't see them doing what they did the first year again. I don't know. So Tonali, looking at those metrics, like Roy won, in my opinion, I'm definitely trading Tomori in a heartbeat because it's going to be more of a gain than a loss because Tomori's value is not going to exceed Tonali. Yeah. I don't think you can sell Tomori for 80. Nobody's going to buy Tomori for 80 million.
By the way, Sandro Tonali is not getting paid right now.
Huh?
What?
I don't think Sandro Tonali is getting paid right now.
Yeah, I was good. That was one of my questions. I was going to say, is he getting paid? Because if I were him, I would kind of.
He's hitting all that fucking parlay money. That's what he's using.
I would kind of like. I mean, it's like an ideal thing that maybe you guys don't believe me, but I would kind of feel terrible if like the club pays you that much and then they still have to pay you and you can't play and it's all your fault. Like,
Sandro Gambino. You're gonna bring him back to his actual vice. That's Italy. That's where he started this shit. He's gonna come in here and start betting. He's gonna be back with Fagioli and company back in Italy. Come on, bro.
Hey guys,
running
also,
casinos.
There's another thing I wanted to say was, remember when he went to Newcastle and like on Twitter, there was those English fans who were saying, number one, that Newcastle was going to like win more trophies than us. I mean, I don't think we're going to win a major trophy or anything, but with this management, but I'm saying like they're a bigger club than us, which that was kind of ridiculous to me. But the other thing was, remember when he went to the Newcastle training ground and he said that it was not as nice as me. That was I felt so awkward for like the Newcastle fans because they were like trying to welcome him and he would like look so like depressed. Like it was hilarious.
Yeah, so let's see what this one sounds a little bit strange to me, but you know, it's coming from Crudeli. Crudeli is such a crazy character. It's hard to really know whether or not this is true, but it's an interesting question. You know, it's an interesting question. Other sources have said that Newcastle is linked with Tonali, so you know, I'm sorry, Tomori.
How much does Calafiori cost, by the way? Because if Juventus hasn't been able to get him, I'm kind of concerned about us.
I think his market value has gone up. Maybe it's shot up from the recent game.
Guys, you know what's crazy? Like last season, this management almost got Calafiori. Like, they were trying to get a replacement for Hernandez, and then we didn't get him. Which is like, and we got what's his name instead. We got oh my god, what the hell is his name? The Italian guy, Terracciano. So it's like, I don't imagine if they got that right. Like you'd be
that. What are you saying? Oh, here we go. What's going on here?
I don't like that sound, Roy.
Who came back? Somebody came back for trouble. Who's in here?
No.
Okay.
If Red John wants to come back, he can come back. But
Did he fight?
if he wants to come back, he can back. It's just,
What did you guys
He
talk?
somehow.
huh?
Did you guys fight?
No.
It's not fight. He started a troll, Roy.
No fight.
Yeah, he rattles Roy so easy.
He comes here and he just wants to bust my balls.
Because what happened is me and Roy were having a civil conversation, and the dude, when he came in, he already we're speaking in hypotheticals, and he's like, your hypotheticals are wrong. We're like, bro, we're not saying they're factual. So him even saying hypotheticals are wrong, you know where we were going with the debate. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
This dude been gone all summer, bro, from last year, for entire year. He comes back for the other window now.
Hey guys, the only thing that's comforting me about Fonseca is that he has an official Instagram and he's verified. And he posts on Instagram, so that tells me that he's a big time manager.
Nice. Great.
Gen Z mentality. Look at this type of metrics. Can you believe that?
I'm delusional.
That's just Gen Z stuff. He has a beast, so he tells me he's good. No, bro. It means he's gonna get roasted, and he's gonna have to put his comments private.
That's gonna happen for sure. That's gonna happen for sure.
It's already happening. Look at his comments. It's already happening.
There is no doubt he's gonna have to do that. He's gonna have to put his the first game he loses. Oh my god! The first game he loses.
Pull up his comments. Look at him. They're like, "Mister, I'm sorry, but get the fuck out." Like they're already saying that. Like,
because imagine if Cardinale or Forlani had an Instagram, they know not to be on that shit.
Oh my lord!
They know not to be on that shit.
Because
they can already read. Go on Milan's official Instagram page and go see what the fuck these dudes be saying. It's so ridiculous. They be roasting, going at them. Chew. I'm like, bro, the friends are angry for real. But I wonder where Curva Sud went.
Hey, by the way, did you see? I was gonna say something about the Curva Sud.
They're not happy.
Do you remember? Did you guys see like the leader of the Curva Sud? After the Ibra speech, posted like mentalita, like he was gassing up Ibra, and he fell for this. Like, dude, come on, man.
What for the press conference?
Yeah, the leader of the Curva Sud was like praising Ibrahimovic. But to be fair, Ibrahimovic was like, "Oh, we're not going to sell any of our best players." Nice and easy.
They're probably going to allow them to
and now he gets all the blame.
They're probably going to allow them to sell their little weed in the stands. So that's why they're on board with what the fuck's happening.
These guys basically just chose Ibrahimovic as the ultimate scapegoat, and now they can just contradict whatever he says and then just blame him. It's kind of genius.
But Ibra is not going to put up with that, right? He's going to come out, and the moment Ibra leaves, then you know it's bullshit.
They're gonna start
Oh my god!
Monetize old Baresi and start making him say stuff too.
Baresi,
this is brutal, dude.
Baresi is the guy. Baresi is the guy that I don't understand. Like I know he's a symbolic figure, but like, god damn, bro, he pisses me off because it's such a legend. He's just be sitting there he's like a fucking doormat.
He decided not to get involved in any drama whatsoever. Have a comfortable life, a quiet life.
I don't blame him, bro. He already lost hair, so doesn't want to lose anymore. Yeah. So I don't blame him.
So I'm looking at these comments on the Fonseca thing. It's bad. Damn, some of them are really rough. There's really very few that are positive. I think. Look, honestly speaking, Fonseca is going to play some games really well because it's the way he plays. We're going to kill some teams, and he's going to get a lot of praise. But as soon as he starts losing, he's going to have to turn his comments off because it's going to look bad. We know how it is in Italy. It's going to look really bad.
What are your derby predictions?
I don't know.
I'm going to go 4-0.
I think Inter with the same squad. Yeah, bro, they're gonna overpower.
Yeah, like if it's the same squad, you have to give it to Inter.
Bro. There's no fucking way, bro. They're getting Zelensky and Taremi. Come on, dog.
It depends who we get. You know, it depends who we get. We have to see.
And there's also momentum, right? At what time are we going to meet Inter throughout the season too?
Yeah.
Because if it's, let's say, game day 7, game day 8, and they're on a roll, and then we're struggling trying to find identity, yeah, we're going to get cooked. That's a fact. Now, if they meet us where we're on a run, let's say we're like on a eight games in a row, we're not losing, then we can beat them. Maybe, right? Because Inter is all about momentum, I feel, with that team when we meet them. It's not, usually the past 6 years, even when we lost, it's like we've been on bad runs, and then we meet them and we already know our fate. I have yet to see Milan on a bad run come out of a derby within the past even 8 years, even when Nicardi was there, us beating them.
Well, listen, sooner or later we're going to beat them. I mean, it's obvious.
No, for sure.
Obviously, it's going to happen. But yeah, I agree. With the current formations, difficult to put Milan as favorites. But let's see what they do in the market. If they can do something spectacular in the market, I think things can look better. Maybe let's see. The Curva Sud will be Furlani's biggest signing of this summer. Dude, what's going on with the Curva Sud, man? These guys are like, what? One day they're complaining, the next day they're all in.
They fed these dudes pasta and they went quiet, bro. Because when Lopetegui was around, it was no Lopetegui. There was all these bandoleros all across. Then all of a sudden, the shit just disappears. We don't hear nothing. With Fonseca now, there's no outrage. I'm confused.
There was outrage.
No, but not to that extent.
Not to that extent.
Lopetegui, all news outlets were covering that. Even CBS Sports was covering that. They didn't cover that for Fonseca at all. I didn't see that at all. It wasn't, and I was on Milan Twitter. Yes, people were upset, but I'm talking about the, Curva Sud really coming out. They didn't do none of that. So for me, it's like, if we knew, you ask any Milan fan, right? If we knew the beginning, this would be the two options. All of us would have said, just keep fucking Pioli. Like, straight up. Now, if Pioli wasn't an option, we would have said, you keep Lopetegui. I promise you, 99% would have said, we'd rather have Lopetegui than Fonseca, because at least we know this fool won. The reason why we said no to Lopetegui, we were expecting to get better, a coach, based on the coach that was available on the market. And that's what it's like, bro, I'm requesting a fucking car, right? And then your bitch has decided to bring me a fucking Lego fucking Lamborghini that I need to put up. And it's like, yo, what the fuck am I looking at? I asked for a real vehicle. That's exactly what it is.
What were you saying, Antonio?
I was saying, can you imagine Conte with this management? He'd be like, so guys, can we buy Buongiorno? Nah. Can we buy Chiesa? Nah. Can we buy Calafiore? No, we're gonna get Weaver. We're gonna get what's his name? Who's the defender that we're linked to? Diogo Leite, whatever, that random guy who plays in the Bundesliga.
I don't know any of these guys. I don't know.
The one that Rock doesn't like.
Come on, man. Like, it's not. Like,
I have no idea who any of these guys are.
This is ridiculous. Conte would look like the most sane he's ever looked talking to those guys.
But the thing is, I think Conte is also in for a shit show if two of his best players, because we got to be honest, he came knowing that he came thinking like those two, Osimhen and Kvara, are staying. That's probably a guarantee until like Kvara's dad decided to pull that stunt online. That's going to be a problem. And then Conte's going to ask like, bro, I need investments. And I don't know, bro. The Napoli thing sounds so superficial to me. It looks so superficial. Like, it's not even funny. I don't think that's like, oh, that's our guy. I feel like Conte just took it into, because what was his contract? It's 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't, because he's not on a long-term commitment. I can see him leaving that shit. I'll put money on.
Yeah, if things go sour, he will leave.
I think that's a poll we need to do. Who's going to leave between Fonseca and Conte? Who leaves first?
Well, the difference is Conte will leave on his own. Fonseca will be fired, I think.
Oh, shit.
But Fonseca, I mean, Conte is he's like that, man. If things don't go his way, he's gonna.
Well, you say like Fonseca's not a top G, so he can't like he doesn't have clout like that.
He's gonna beg to stay if he messes up. if Conte messes up, Conte is going to blame it on the management, and he's going to leave before the management can blame it on him and fire him.
He gonna fire himself. Conte is so funny. Even when he went to Tottenham, when people were saying we saw that come, we're like, yo, bro, this dude's gonna leave. But at the beginning, you know, he was doing these fake praises. I'm like, bro, this dude is so fake. He said they got a nice stadium. It's a competitive team. We come to win. And then less than like how many months later, this dude is like, they don't want to invest. The tune just switches. Oh man, Conte is a funny guy, bro.
Yeah. Listen, if they sell Vicha and Osimhen, that's tough to replace, man. That's not fucking easy.
Yeah. And Osimhen right now is too distracted. Even if Osimhen stays, he has too much shenanigans going on. Dude went on Instagram Live saying he doesn't want to play. They say he's faking an injury. Like, he has so much shit going on, bro. Like, he's distracted right now. Like, he's not training. He's distracted with a lot of outside antics, and he started to get a little bit of clout instead of building on top of it. He's and I know some of it is not his fault with what the Napoli people did.
Right.
Now Kvara's dad is coming and putting fucking, you know, sand in their food with what he said. And what was the agent last year that came out and talked about Osimhen and he had to go at that agent? It was an agent of another player. Who was it? It was last season. An agent of another player came, and then Osimhen is like, yo, those are lies.
I think it was Kvara's agent.
Oh, okay, there we go. So,
I think it was Kvara's agent, yeah.
Yep, so there we go. So you have a lot of super shit. But I think Napoli, their biggest concern is they need to really invest in defenders. And also Zelensky leaving is going to leave a void. So they need to go get another proper dude based on how they want to play.
Oh, yeah.
They need
to
go
gotta do a lot of work, man. If they lose those players, like, it's gonna be really hard to build a super strong team because like Vicha and Osimhen are like very difficult to replace. I mean, fuck, who are you gonna Osimhen? I think Osimhen, even though he had a poor season, he's still there, top 3, top 2.
Yeah, he's still a top striker. But he wants to go to, you know, he wants to go to England. He's looking at it. Chelsea doesn't want him. So I think he might end up also in a Lukaku situation where, like, bro, nobody's going to pay your fee. So you might stay, or you're going to ask to be loaned out. You know, you're not playing Champions League. I don't know. And, you know, these guys, they're you know, they're older in, you know, in the inside. You know, on paper, they're young, but he's going to try to get trophies quick. I can see it with Arsenal. So
I think if Milan want to make a big statement, we should bring in Osimhen. I think Carmelo's right about that.
Yeah, that would be good for us.
Damn, that would be fucking crazy. I won't be expecting any coach of the caliber of Klopp or Pep until AC Milan gets some oil money ownership. The sky's the limit, brother.
Yeah, but even the oil money, man, I don't know, bro. It's because if they're able, like, I think at this point, because the oil money people, it's almost like they're splurging money for, it's not like some of these European teams, like it's their favorite teams they grew up watching as kids, right? I'm pretty sure they did. But it was more since they couldn't bring these players back home to their country, like as a fucking hobby, they decided to pay, you know, invest in Europe. But once that Saudi league start developing, they're gonna be like, nah, I don't have to go and buy Newcastle. Matter of fact, and that's what you're seeing with the Saudi league. Because if the Saudi league didn't develop, I think you would have seen more Saudi investors flooding, or like, you know, PRF diverting more into Europe, buying different leagues, like the way they bought golf and all that. But if they can develop their own league, and now, or we're able to bring Cristiano Ronaldo or Leao is able to come. If I wanted to buy Bologna, no, I'm not gonna buy Bologna. Why the fuck would I buy that? I'd rather keep my money at Al Nassr, Al Hilal. You know what I'm saying? So the little teams were expecting to get bought out. They're not gonna get bought out, and you're gonna get jetties coming. Now the Americans will come in because JP Morgan has it on their website. How to find it? We can help you finance a football club, and boom, and they show up at your door.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is.
The thing that I like more about let's say Middle Eastern ownerships is I think that they would approach it more in the sense of grandeur and more, you know, like winning and trying to push the envelope on the football pitch. I think that would be better from that side. On the other, coming from the other side of the pond, I think it's more about money and business, and I don't know. I give it a couple more years, oil money will take over Serie A. Well, it looks like the Americans are taking over Serie A, dude. I mean, half the teams are owned by Americans. Unless the Americans are going to sell to the oil, I don't think so. I think Americans are going to keep their network of business together. They're not going to give it away. I think that's the more I'm looking, the more I see this, the more it looks like that's the way things are. The West kind of keeps its business in the West, and the East keeps its business in the East. So right now, half the teams in the Serie A are owned by Americans, or one team is also. Como is going to end up being the best run club in Italy.
Yeah, so you got who you have? You have Como, Bologna. I think it's Canadians.
Well, Como is Indonesians. Como is Indonesians.
Oh, Como is Indonesians. Yeah, but like half. I mean, Parma is back in Serie A too. Americans. Shit, bro,
I don't know. I don't know Milan. I know Milan, Roma. I think Atalanta has an American
Inter
shareholder
as well. Inter
now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And who else? I don't know what the other teams are. Comiso, Fiorentina. I don't know what the other teams are.
Is Venezia up? Venezia's back, right?
I think Venezia's back. Yeah, they do. Americans, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Genoa as well. Genoa's are Canadian or Americans. I think it's North American for Genoa as well. Yep. So that's another one. Yeah, I mean, this is it's like half, man. Half of the city is all Americans, man. MLS, get ready. MLS, big time.
We're coming, man.
Close club. Nobody gets relegated.
Freedom.
You need to pay. You need to pay to get in. That's exactly what they're gonna do. You saw your boy Chucky Lozano. You know where he's going, right?
Where's he going?
He's going to your side, man. He's going to your state.
Where?
Football career over.
Galaxy or FC?
I think he's going to San Diego. I think he's the first player to sign for San Diego. Is going to be the new MLS expansion.
Oh, they're getting a team?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
they are. I think they're valued already like at 700 million. They're valued high already. I'm like, fuck. But yeah, I said Chucky Lozano following the path of Carlos Vela, freaking Chicharito. I mean, Americans will pay you the money, so they are going there. That's football for you, man. You know.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? He did good. He did good with Napoli. I'd love to see a game in Venice Stadium. In Venice Stadium in my lifetime, beautiful city and stadium. I was seeing a report that Venice is drowning.
Which one? Yeah, which one is more beautiful, Como or Venice? From the picture, I see Como is prettier.
I haven't been in either, so I can't tell you.
But how do you feel about the games they're voting for to get actually Serie A games and Premier League games played in the US? You think it's a good or a bad thing?
I mean, obviously, for exposure, it's a good thing. Because then, yeah, you start to create a market in intercontinental market as far as like the show playing games. Lariat had also a good point though when he spoke about how it takes away from the domestic crowds that go to the stadium and want to see the big games.
It does because it's going to be a lot superficial. It's going to be kind of like those games you see for the NFL when they play it in London and all that. It's garbage. It's not the same ambiance compared when it's the home team, And when you think about these players, like places like Italy, where you have like the old guy, the older fans, he'll take his bus or whatever, go to the stadium. You're taking away from him. They're not going to fly to come over here, bro. You need a visa to come to America. I mean, maybe not for all the Europeans, but dude, it's just, I think it takes the soul out of the game, bringing it over here. It's almost like a spectacle show, not in a good way, like a minstrel show. People are just performing. You know, not there for the game. American fans are really superficial and fickle. You know, it's nothing fun about them. They just want to drink beer, eat hot dogs, you know, discount. If it's hot dog night, it's the reason they're there. They don't care about what's going on in the game. And that's a fact. It's entertainment. All you hear is entertainment. So I'm not with that. You know,
It's a money grab. It's a money grab.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
too
it is.
superficial, you know, especially if it's in important games, like a derby, for example. Are you gonna bring that here for what?
Yeah, I mean the Derby of Milano and the Classico and you know the derbies in the actual towns. You know, obviously the atmosphere is much more special. Like if they do it, they do it all the time, then no, that's a big no for me. But if they do it sometimes, maybe it can get more eyes on the Serie A. Maybe a more, you know, maybe it could bring good things. I mean, they're gonna do it because it's gonna bring them money.
Feels when they play Copa Libertadores, where like when River played Boca Juniors at the Santiago Bernabeu. To me, it was just weird. Yeah, I get it. You're playing it in Spain for exposure, but what makes it fun is when it's on ground levels. You see the fans going stupid. They don't do all of that. You know, you don't have. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I think it's weird. It's weird, and if you do that, like you said, the frequency of it, those derbies, it's not a good look. It's too superficial.
No, the San Siro, man, the derbies is incredible. The atmosphere of the San Siro. And I bet it's the same in Germany when Bayern and Dortmund play at the Westfalen Stadium. You know,
right?
Like that atmosphere can't be compared.
I mean, even look right now. Look at that. Apparently, like the Dortmund Stadium, I didn't even know they have the thing where when you scream, they can hear you, and I think that's where Italy was playing, right? At Dortmund.
Yeah.
And you can, so that's what the yellow. Wow, that's why you're able to hear the Albanians that crazy close to that experience. You can even hear it on TV, and you're like, holy fuck. So, it's I don't know. Yeah, no.
Did you guys see Romania cook Ukraine today? They might be the real dark horses this year.
I have Romania, but man, if you kind of look, Romania has never been really bad when they're at the Euros. I know they don't get out the group, but like again, going back to the Eastern European, these teams play compact, bro. Like they're not gonna come because I always said this. Seems like Romania when they qualify, there's a reason why they qualified, right? They went in no like chump group, you know, racking stat padding somewhere. Like you're gonna have to play careful. I mean, I don't know if you remember at the Euro 2008, right? When we played them, we got lucky, man. Oh wait, we're in the same group where Romania, Italy was. And I remember that shit where Buffon had to stop a penalty, like within like the last minute. I remember when he went on that side. Romania always been tough. Like teams like Romania, I never underestimated them to be like, they're just going to be. There's times they're bad, but I feel like those teams when they're bad, they don't even qualify for tournaments.
Well, listen. I mean, Ukraine is not that far ahead of Romania in as far as like as far as
more established players.
Pedigree.
Ukraine has more established players right now.
They're a little bit more forward. They're a little bit more forward, but it's not like the difference is not huge.
No, it's not. But right now, Ukraine, the problem is the past few years, this is almost like a Ukraine golden generation that they have right now. If I'm gonna be honest with you,
it is
because even Shevchenko's time is probably Shev was the only star. It's probably 2 or 3 if I think straight I can think of. But right now, this is probably like a Ukraine like golden with the Zichenko, Malinovsky, that dude from Genoa. I mean, you know, they've been to the World Cup, qualifying for the Euros. You know, teams like Ukraine once in a while. I mean, their first World Cup was in 2006. You know, and I had never seen Ukraine qualify back-to-back for a World Cup and the Euros. So this is kind of a golden generation. That's why people were overhyping them a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, they do produce really good talents. For example, one thing that needs to be said is that the U23 Ukrainian team did win the Toulon. Against Ivory Coast.
Oh my God!
Oh no!
Oh yeah, we lost on penalties though. I mean, they was leading
U20. U23 against the U20.
Yes, man. Fuck, I hate the U23 stuff.
Anyway, at the moment I saw Ukraine was playing with the U23, I knew they were going to win it. Obviously, they were going to win it. Italy was playing with the U21 B team. Ivory Coast with the U20 team. France with the U20 team. Japan with a U19 team. So obviously Ukraine U23 is
Yeah, but Ukraine, but they, it was penalties, which I feel like it was luck
yeah,
because
it was good.
Ivory
Yeah,
Coast
good.
came back from
That's
a
good.
2-0 deficit. So
It's good about Ivory Coast to come back. You know,
but
it
then
was,
the
yeah,
Ivorians were also U23, you know, in the
I
inside.
read it was U20.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Catch my drift, man. They're also
Come on,
U23.
bro. Bro, you're gonna get me in trouble, dude.
I'm not gonna get you in no trouble. It's a joke. Allegedly. Shit.
Uh,
Oh man.
all right. So yeah, Belgium. Oh, we spoke about that tomorrow.
Copa
France.
America starts
Oh,
Thursday.
what about Mbappe? Did you see his fucking nose?
Yeah,
Fuck.
it broke. It broke. Mm-hmm.
So someone said earlier in chat that he's out of a tournament.
I don't know about that. There's people are saying they're gonna do everything to get him up to par. People are so mean. They're like, yo, Mask Mbappe is gonna be crazy because you know they call him the Ninja Turtle. So people in the comments say like, yo, Mask Mbappe is gonna be looking crazy. He's gonna come for vengeance like Mask Rudiger or Osimhen, because he's definitely coming back with a mask. So you know he's gonna live up to that Ninja Turtle meme big time. Big time. So I think they're gonna get him back, Roy. There's no way Mbappe goes out of the tournament.
I don't know who wrote that. I mean, it would be
that's
weird.
Not true. What I've seen, no, I put in the chat that he broke his nose, and I think he's doing a surgery either tonight or tomorrow, like in Germany. It's a broken nose, you know, so they're gonna try to repair it. Now, if he's out, if Mbappe's out, bro, they're gonna be in trouble. France is not winning no fucking tournament. You know, teams are not gonna be afraid because he's the X factor of that team. Yes, they got talented players, but Mbappe is the X factor, and he's not there. Teams are not gonna be afraid to come out. I promise you that they're not.
Damn, his nose is bad, man. Do you? I don't know if you don't. Do you watch WWE or you used to watch WWE?
No, yeah, big time. Yeah, that's big WWE.
A few years ago, John Cena, Seth Rollins kneed him in the nose, and John Cena had this crooked nose, crazy crooked nose.
Damn,
I don't know.
That's
I don't know if you're,
fake right there.
I don't know if you remember that or you've seen that,
No.
but I think that's what happens in Mbappe. Like his nose is all fucked up. It's all crooked and shit.
That's a risky one. At least he didn't break his foot like Osimhen did, like his fucking like that bone in his face, like cracked. That shit was terrible. Injuries like that like scare me.
Damn, that's fucked.
We'll see when they come back. I mean, Portugal plays tomorrow, first round.
Portugal is going to play well. I bet they're going to play well.
Turkey plays. I mean, they playing your team. Oh no, they're playing Czech Republic, and then Turkey is playing your team, Georgia.
Georgia's going to win it. Let's go. Georgia's going to win the whole thing. Yeah, they're going to win the tournament.
Turkey is a tricky team in these tournaments. I mean, they're coming with a good group, but I'm yet to see. We'll see if Arda Güler becomes, you know, the promised guy. I don't even know if he starts.
He's still young. But hey, check this out. So this is what Nathan sent on the chat. This is a quote from Roberto Mancini. I am happy to be the technical commissioner of Saudi Arabia. It's the land of football. Here we breathe real football. I want to get to the 2026 World Cup. Many Italians dream of being able to play or train in this country of sun, desert, and culture, proud to marry the Saudi project. At the European Championship in Germany, there are 15 players competing in the Great Saudi Championship. This shows the greatness of this league. I've always loved Saudi Arabia for years and years. I hope to see more Italians come into the Middle East like Cannavaro, Verratti, Pirlo, and Totti. In Italy, we need Saudi investors to buy 2 or 3 Italian clubs, Milan, Juve, Inter, to give us an unlimited market budget and high salaries like PSG and City. Go Italy and go Saudi Arabia.
Wow. That's what money does to you. That's what fucking money does to you. I don't believe a single word what the fuck he said. Like, really?
That's
you gonna sit there and say that?
He's a coach of Saudi Arabia. Of course he's gonna say that.
That's what money does to you. That's what money does to you. Everybody's your friend. You agree with everything. That's yes man behavior.
I mean, listen, the amount of money they're paying in Saudi Arabia, like what else are you gonna do? Like, They are killing it with these salary. Well,
What's
killing
his name? What's his name is his assistant coach, Yaya Toure. But Yaya Toure is good for him because Yaya Toure is Muslim. Like, listen,
Oh, yeah,
Saudi
that's
League,
clever. That's clever.
it's ideal for players like Mohamed Salah, like the Mane and all these guys. That's ideal. People that from the Western world that live crazy, like somebody like a Icardi, for example, they're not gonna survive over there. Or I mean, I'm surprised Neymar even went. I don't know if he's gonna get in trouble yet because this is the places like I don't even know alcohol. What is the alcohol laws? I don't want to speculate on Saudi, but you know,
I don't know.
It's a bit strict. You know, these
Listen, it's a business partnership. This is a business partnership. This is a business part, and I'm telling you, like Mancini's making. I think it's 30 million per season for 3 seasons. 90 million in the bank, bro. 90 million in the bank. I'm saying, like, guys, I know Red John came here and he talked about I want to become a legend. I mean, these kind of salaries change the game. These kind of salaries change the game. These kind of salaries now, this whole I want to become a legend of the sport, all of a sudden, it's not that strong of a statement anymore. This is the reality of the thing.
It is.
This is reality.
That's not 30 mil for a coach.
30 million, 90 million. 90 million.
Bro, and you're barely and it's international football, so you're not doing no league stuff to be like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and I gotta prep the players all day. You're like a part-time worker when you're a coach. So part-time work, you're making 30 million.
Yeah, man.
And that's why they couldn't keep. No, I mean, no, he walked out the Italian league, but like,
yeah, I mean, okay, there's an example. How about that as an example we could have given to Red John earlier? We have a fucking Italian coach, right? Italy, the Italian coach that is trying to get his team to the World Cup, to the Euro, resigns midway because here comes Saudi Arabia with 30 million a season for 3 years. Who the fuck is going to say no to that? Who in their right mind is going to say no to that? I'm sorry, but anybody says yes to that, even if it's the coach of Italy, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. They're going to give you 90 million.
Even Koulibaly, what did Koulibaly say? Koulibaly said, like, bro, once he saw that amount of money, he said he started to sit down and make do the math and see that he said generation from generation. He's like, his whole generation can be assured with the amount of money that he's going to be getting before he moved to Al Hilal. He's like, there's no way I was saying no to that. Because he also kind of like left at the peak of his Napoli career because he was still having a starting role when they went on to win.
No, didn't he go to Chelsea first?
Oh, no, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he did. Sorry. He went to Chelsea. And at Chelsea, he could have still had a place in Europe.
Is he still at Chelsea?
No. Koulibaly went to Al Hilal, bro. He's in Saudi.
Okay. Didn't know.
Know. Oh, you didn't know? He went over there to Al Hilal. That's why Al Hilal is so good. Because they have Mendy and goal. They have Koulibaly. They have Neymar in that team. They have Milinkovic-Savic. They have Mitrovic.
Shit, they have Neymar. I forgot about Neymar.
They have Mitrovic. They have Mitrovic in that team. They have they have European players on there that can start. And that's why it's hard to beat them. And they've always been a good team they've always been a good team in Asia anyways. They've been a top team.
Oh, this is a team Jovinko used to play, is it? No.
That's another one. Yep. That Al Hilal. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. It is.
That's another one we could have used because Jovinko kind of like we put on a lower scale. He had his little peak where he decided to go to the MLS and wasted over there in Toronto.
Oh, Ruben Neves too.
Yeah, Ruben Neves is over there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. Now they want Rafael.
Yeah.
So they're building a Champions League team. We're slowly building a Champions League team. I mean, at least a team like that can compete for the Europa League. I mean, I don't know what the other players look
because
like.
they wanted them to play at that whole Champions League stuff. I think there was some truth to it. Where they'll try to buy the way into a Champions League club. I think there was some truth to it. They were really.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah. They want to become.
Like, orders know because all the outlets were talking about it until they decided to say, you know what, the World Cup, and then they announced the World Cup, and I think the World Cup is going to be their bread and butter, the Club World Cup, to try to compete with Europe, because I don't see African teams competing with fucking. I was telling somebody earlier, I'm like, that tournament is going to be so unbalanced. It's not even funny. I was telling my cousin earlier, I'm like, first of all, you're going to have African. The World Cup is going to be in the United States. The Club World Cup next summer, 2025. Bro, a lot of these African players, they're playing in D League in East Africa. You think they're going to come to America and you think they're going to go back? You run the issue where only the staff is coming back. Only two people from the staff. I've seen that before, bro. I've seen that before with I used to watch a lot of handball, and I used to play handball.
Hey, I did, guys. I'm not saying this stuff, huh? This is all
I'm saying this stuff, and that's a
yeah,
fact,
click
bro.
when you say these things, Clay, make sure you're saying it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Somebody need to come at me because that's a fact. That I said it even for the World Cup in 2026. Go look at the visa wait for some of these countries. Some of these countries has a visa wait for 730 days because people are buying one-way tickets. I'm not making it up. This is just facts. People are gonna come and they're gonna leave. They're gonna desert. Like, you gotta understand. You gotta understand what conditions these people play. I'm not making fun of it, but that's a reality. You think somebody's playing in Tanzania? Yes, they got a good African team, but you think the salary compares? You think they're gonna come play a World Cup tournament? And you think they're gonna go back if they have an opportunity?
I mean, what, you think we're gonna just be illegals in America? Is that what you're saying?
That's a fact.
Wow.
Are you gonna be surprised?
Guys, I did not say this. This is not me.
I'm gonna tell you where I'm coming out from, because I'm not making that up. Time and time again. And anybody that grew up in any country in Africa and they used to pay attention to the news, we've heard these stories over and over. Back in early 2000s, there was even the handball team of the Ivory Coast, female. They went to play in the tournament in Russia. All them females took off. Only 2 people from the staff came back. The reason why I say that, you gotta understand, these people are not paid a lot. That's why they export.
No, I know, guys. I know Africa. I know how
people need to understand the pipeline. It's true. It's true. I joke about these things, but they're written out there. Then the public. I'm not exposing nobody's secret. It's not a secret. Where you can look these up stuff online for yourself. Africans get the opportunity to Europe a bit late because they really linger. I have cousins that play professional. You understand? They play for so long in those leagues and they get better. By the time they get better, they don't want to be showing up to Europe being 25, 27. They're not going to take you. That's a fact. So you want to increase your opportunities. You know, at the end of the day, when you're black, your age doesn't show. You still have the capacity to go forward. They don't pay you shit. These leagues are corrupt, man. People don't make money. They're stranded. So even the ones that are on the good teams, they try to find ways to leave. You think the opportunity is going to present itself? I'm not saying for all teams, but don't be surprised if some teams it happens.
Okay. All right.
Unless their players make them.
You're not saying anything which would be out of order. I know the situation.
The one team that used to play their players good, it was a team called TP Mazembe. Tout-Puissant Mazembe that came from Congo, and they even made it to the finals. To the finals of the World Cup. They played against was it Madrid? Was it Madrid or Chelsea? They played. No. They played against a European team, TP Mazembe. They made it to the final. That was a proper ran African team because, you know, their president was a billionaire and he was giving them good salaries where you don't have to do that. Because when I'm looking at the criteria, the countries that are going to come in, because, Roy, it's not an 8-team tournament. They're trying to make this shit like a real World Cup, 32 teams. So you're going to tell me there's 32 proper
ranks? Well, there was the 94 World Cup, which was a big tournament. I don't know how much of that happened.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't disagree with you. I think this stuff can happen, and it's
but forget about teams running away. You know, that was just a side note. It's just the unbalance, like the discrepancy. It's going to be like a Champions League 2.0. Because who's really, you expect the South African team to compete with Inter and beat them? Or upset?
I think it's no, but I think it's a good opportunity for some of these African teams to play against these higher level teams and kind of see where the level is at. Maybe see if it can adjust. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be
Only it's gonna be funny when they're gonna be like, "Yo, Inter is on the field and there's no players against whatever X team, no players on the bench," and like, "Yo, what happened?"
Where's the team?
And they're gone. Shit, you think this is a game? Like, bro, they're not gonna miss that. But anyway,
I know Africa.
I don't know. I think it's a money grab. It's just I think the HILAL and all these guys, they can compete with those teams, but I do not see them, especially the type of players that the Saudi League is also getting. You know, I don't see those players competing with, let's say, like a Man City, you know, to the T, where there's going to be some type of rivalry.
No, Man City, no.
You know, because the problem is they're putting a lot of European teams. They're putting a lot of European teams, the Inter, Juve, and all these guys are qualified. So it's going to turn into a mini UEFA tournament.
I think the South American teams can do well.
They can, Roy. Yeah. But then again, like against who? Because the teams I've seen that qualified, especially from the European base, I'm like,
No, listen. Obviously, it's going to be the usual suspects that are going to be the favorites. Yeah. You know, there's no doubt about that. Listen, I want to address this question here. Debate question: is the Euro harder to win than the World Cup? I'm leaning towards the Euros. Antonio says. Antonio, you go, and then Clint, and then I'll go. What do you think?
Wait, come back with the end. I have to. I actually commented my opinion, but I'm doing one thing. So 1 second.
Okay. What about you, Clint? What do you think? Who do you think is
World Cup? World Cup is harder than the Euros. World Cup is harder than the Euros. This whole debate about all the top European teams play together, so therefore it makes the competition harder. I don't believe it. The World Cup is much more. The World Cup is much more harder because let's elevate the scale. Let's speak about this for a second. You look, you know, outside what Messi said, yes, you have the South American teams, but you got the Asian teams, like in Europe, right? In Europe, I'll say there's probably only 4 good teams. Let's be honest. 4 good teams. I'll take France. We can say Italy. We can say Germany. We can probably say Spain. Portugal in the mix, let's say 5. I mean, once you move from that realm,
Holland? What about Holland, England?
Once you move from that realm, I can put on the other tier Holland, and I'm going based on how they performed at, you know, at both tournaments within the past 30 years, right? I can put Holland and Belgium far second in the mix, okay? After that, all the other teams are pretty much there above average. So you look at that because, and those teams that I named, right? Now let's take out of Asia, right? You take Korea, you take Japan. Japan can, you know, even Iran, they can compete to a certain extent with the last 2 I mentioned, like the Holland and all that. They can be some level of competition, especially nowadays. Now you bring in the African teams in the mix. You understand? Before I even talk about the South Americans, bring the African teams in the mix, right? We can give you 3 solid African teams, maybe. I'm not going to say names because it varies, right? But you can see the Cameroons and all. You can get upsets from a lot of African teams, the Senegals. You know, you can get upsets like big time. And we've seen the performance, right? And now you take, and now we're going to South America. North America, probably I'll take Mexico in the bunch, right? If we look on the third, not now how Mexico is playing, you can look at the upsets and go sit down, look at the results of different World Cup. It makes it more challenging because it's not a free way out. Because at the Euros, for me, it's not enough teams, and for me, it's other than Greece, right? That did the upset. You pretty much know what you're in for. Like, in those teams, when they go into the World Cup, they don't come out the group stage. Because if the Euros was really that challenging, like people say, then why these second tier or Europeans, let's say if Austria would have qualified, why they don't make it out the group stage with another big European name and they stay left, like a Costa Rica will come and beat you, or an African team will get out the group stage instead of you, right? I mean, we see it time and time again. So that's my argument in terms when people are comparing the different. I think the World Cup is difficult. First of all, it comes around every 4 years, and people are more prepared. That's actually the biggest stage, and people are more.
The Euros is also every 4 years.
No, I know, but people are more. I feel like players are more focused during the World Cup than the Euros. Yes, they want to win it, but it's just, for me, the World Cup for me is always going to be challenging. There's more teams, and I think teams come more prepared, especially from the outside. I think they come more prepared than the Euros, big time.
Mm.
That's my take.
All right. So for me, when I look at the different confederations, I think the Euro is the most difficult one, and after that is Copa America. Then it's probably AFCON. No, then it is AFCON. Then it's I believe
Asia.
I don't know, Asia.
I mean, even Australia, and I forgot to mention Australia as well, Roy.
So you have Oceania, and then you have the region with Iran. And,
yeah, because Australia also joined. They got out of Oceania now. They joined the Asian Federation.
Okay.
They were tired of playing a playoff against a South American team.
So out of all the confederations, I think the UEFA confederation is the hardest one.
No, everybody can say yes. Yeah, I would agree with you.
But I agree that the World Cup is a more difficult tournament. But one thing that you can say about the World Cup is that the World Cup, you can come out in a group stage with a team that is really easy to beat. That can happen, right? You can be Spain, and then you can meet this team that, right? A lot of the guys they're not even professional footballers, so that can happen. But the World Cup with the South American teams, the African teams, it's mostly those coming from there, the South American teams and the African teams, and Mexico and US are also two difficult teams to play against.
Because also you got to look at this. All these other teams that are outside the zone, all the top players play in Europe. So you cannot just say, oh, the Euro is just hard, and they omit the fact that when you're playing a World Cup, if you're playing an Australian team, right, for example, or a Japanese team, Japan, for example, all their players play in all their players play in Germany, or they play in Europe. Like, you're just not running across them. Like, you're gonna get beat. You're gonna get eliminated. They will eliminate you. So they're not giving you points. So yes, it's true, Europeans been dominant, but the big teams are the ones that win the World Cup as well, right? Like the France of the world, the big names. The medium European teams don't make it past the semifinals. Other confederations, they do, right? You come back to me. Other than the last time I can remember, maybe Turkey in 2002, but that team was super loaded. And maybe like also Bulgaria.
Croatia's been in a few finals.
Right,
semifinals.
In 94, right? I can think of
Croatia in 98.
Yeah, Croatia is up in the mix, but what I'm trying to get at is you have when you look at the South American teams, boy, they got proper ballers.
Listen. I mean, there's I think it's 8 teams, and it's just really about these 8 teams.
Yeah,
it's Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, and that's it. Maybe England. They say England a little bit, I guess, but it's really those teams there. They're the ones that have set the standard. Then I think the African teams are very difficult to play against, especially if Africa always gets a team in a World Cup that is just very difficult to beat. And that's just different, right? The thing is, like, it's a different kind of opponent. In Europe, obviously, you know each other. You've been playing against each other your whole fucking lives. But when you face the teams that are from intercontinental teams, you're playing against completely different styles, completely different culture. So I think overall, the World Cup is more difficult.
And also the downfall of African teams. The downfall of African teams when they play against the European is African teams don't have chemistry. Right, a lot of African players, even if they have that top player, they don't play in the same league like in Europe. Like most of the English players play together within their league. Italy, same. Spain, same. So there's a chemistry that's built. African players, they probably play with this dude 3 or 4 times a year because one plays in France, is a top player in France, the other one plays in Spain, and that chemistry is not there compared to, like, we come from the same league, so we can play. That's why a lot of teams that usually tend to be good, like when you look at Saudi Arabia, the way they upset Argentina, all of them play in the Saudi league, and that plays a big part when you're playing in international tournaments. Like you look at Italy when we won in 2006, all of them came from Serie A. Nobody was playing outside, and that really matters. That's actually a stat that I love looking at. Like teams that tend to win a championship, other than Argentina, of course. Most of the teams that win, they come from the same league. Even that Brazil in 2002, believe it or not, half of that Brazilian squad was playing in Brazil. Half of them. And then
So I think overall, I think you can find maybe some easier teams in the World Cup than the Euro, but in the Euro you can find some easy teams too, like like some teams that don't have been only some small football countries. I think in World Cup you can find more of those, but going forward, the competition is harder in the World Cup.
But I also think for the 2026 they kind of diluted the brand, because now you're bringing 42 teams. There's going to be a lot of nonsense games.
Yeah, those nonsense games are mostly in the World Cup. You're not going to see too many of those in the Euro.
Right. And 42 games like this World Cup coming up. So a lot of teams are going to qualify, don't have the level to be there. It's going to dilute the brand a little bit.
But once they go into the knockout stages, once all the better teams come out, then I think that is harder than the Euros. It has to be, because you have Brazil, you have those two countries in general, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia. Then you have in Africa, you always have Nigeria, which is strong. The North African teams. There's always strong African teams. Japan is always a strong team to play against. USA is always a difficult team. Mexico is always difficult.
Japan is becoming stronger and stronger by each World Cup. They're doing something. So
and the fact that you don't play against these teams often is what makes it more difficult. Right?
Yep.
Because Austria is really difficult, but Italy has been playing Austria forever. They play Austria every fucking 2 years. They play Austria, but how many times you get to play Japan? How many times you get to play Mexico? How many times you get
even
to play
teams like Iran? Those are teams that are hard to beat.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia actually had some pretty good showings too.
But I think in Asia though, I'll probably say Iran and Japan are like the two best team out of Asia. And I think we can add Australia in the mix. I think those are like the top three. Everybody else comes second. Saudi Arabia, they have their little set against Argentina, but they're not as good as them, as these teams I named. They're not as good as Australia. Australia actually usually gets out the group stage in the past World Cups. They do. Japan gets out the group stage. Korea gets out the group stage. They have World Cups, but
those games, the knockout game right after the group stage where you're playing against these teams, those games tend to be the most difficult games.
Yeah, they're tricky.
They tend to be the most.
You saw Belgium. Game. Belgium almost got kicked out in 2018 against Japan, where they were leading 2-0, but they couldn't hold on to the pressure, and then they came back and they eliminated Japan. But Japan was about to get them out of there.
Now, listen. Now, Mbappé disagrees with us. He disagrees with us. He thinks the Euro is just harder. I mean, maybe, obviously, but he just thinks maybe overall it's just harder. I think the early stages of the... Oh, no. Let me see why Mbappé thinks the Euros are harder. Why do you think about that?
Here, I'm going to add this. If you were to ask me, I actually think the AFCON is harder than the Euros. Hear me out. Not because of the quality of the players. Europe has better quality. That's a fact. But the reason why sometimes we feel like the Euros are not harder, the Euros are not as unpredictable as some of these other tournaments. Like when you look at the AFCON is a really unpredictable tournament because it's kind of balanced. You don't know who can kick you out. Euros is not so much as unpredictable. There's certain matches when you see, you're like, okay, you might have your one-offs, but because we don't want to conflate the quality of Europeans saying, no, Europe has the better quality. Everybody would agree with that. But when we look at the tournament from different scale, from different scope, the being unpredictable, like that factor of unpredictability.
There's more unpredictability.
The more surprises,
for sure.
That's when people prefer. I prefer this tournament compared to the Euros, or compared to.
I mean, no. As far as that goes, AFCON is definitely more unpredictable. Copa America is pretty predictable. Copa America is actually very predictable because if you look at the winners of the Copa America, it's overwhelmingly Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay.
Right, Uruguay. Those are the ones that won the most. Go look at the record.
Overwhelmingly.
Right. You said we take Serie A in the Premier League. Right now, people will tell you Premier League is the best league. All the best players. Fine, right? But when we're talking about in terms of the element of surprise or the balance, Serie A is more balanced. Serie A right now is more unpredictable. You don't know who comes out. You understand? Like in Italy, in the Prem, the top three usually you know who it is. It's guaranteed that there's no fun in that. But when you look at Italy now, I mean, you saw Bologna came into the mix. We don't know who's going to be next year. There's a certain balance, and I think that's a bit the thought process we're using here, looking at Euros and all that stuff. We understand the better quality teams are in the Euros, but I don't think that's what makes it difficult. At least I'm not going to use that
Well,
element.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like
I
you know
mean,
what to expect.
from a technical standpoint, yeah, it is probably more difficult to play the football there. But I think the AFCON has its difficulties because the AFCON is
because when you're seeing a Spain, right, Roy, you're seeing Spain, for example, even if Spain doesn't win the game at the Euros, you're expecting them to play a certain way or this one player to tire them, and you see it, right? You don't expect them to shit the fucking bed where you're like, yo, what the fuck just happened? When you see your Germany playing against a certain team, even if they get the element of surprise or it's a mistake, you're expecting them to perform the way, because you see it over and over. Like you kind of know, you have a gist. If it's a French Germany, you have an idea. It's the same matchups. It's almost like a closed. Sometimes I feel like the Euros is a closed
but that's
tournament.
why I told Nathan. But that's why I don't need to watch football anymore because like I've seen enough of it. It's never changed. It's always the same shit. All I watch is what I'm interested in. I don't need to watch Spain to know how they play. I've known how they play for fucking decades. Same
Right.
with Germany. Same with England. Same with all the teams. Yeah, no, you're definitely right about the AFCON teams. They come, they go. Some teams may be really strong, but then they're not strong, and there's a lot more.
And the thing is that Africa
diversity.
has 53 countries. There's more teams that come into the AFCON now. I mean, we have the rise now of a team like Cape Verde. Cape Verde, that's a small ass fucking island, but a lot of their players now are playing in the Portuguese league, and they're gonna come up to upset the hierarchy. And that's like at the African scale level. We're not compared to Europe, but looking at that level, it makes it more fun because it's more balanced on how the teams perform.
My criticism to AFCON is like it's every fucking 3 months. Like,
Dude, it's
like,
because we love. That's our World Cup, brother. We can't win.
Why does it have to be so frequent?
No, we love football, man. And it's not even for the money. It's just that's like our mini World Cup. That's what they do, and it makes it fun. And even as every 2 years, look how many people won that the thing. There's been different teams over and over, so which is good. So I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, overall, I think the World Cup is the harder competition. But if Mbappe thinks differently, I mean, he experienced them, so whatever. I've heard other players say that the Euro is harder, but I've heard other players say that. From the outside, to me, it seems as if the World Cup. I think that there's some elements of the World Cup, especially in the group stages, that make it easier. But once you go through the knockout stages, there's nothing that can convince me.
Because the thing about the Euros too, see this third choice thing, it's like it helps you so much because they've been having that since 2016, and they used to do that in the past. I know the World Cup used to do that in the past, but that's when there was only 3 teams in the group. But this whole like now you look at the Euros, yeah, you can flunk the next 2 games and still make it through.
But it's been like that for a long time.
No, but it wasn't like that. They only brought that for 2016. 2008, 2000, it wasn't like that. They was usually 2 teams. You lose your first game, you're in the red zone, and then you're out. 2016, that's why they brought it back. That's how Portugal actually got out, and they went down to win. They didn't even win a game at all that whole tournament, and they won the final, which is pretty insane. And that also helps. Like you look at a team that started. Belgium lost today. They get a draw, they win the last game, they can still qualify. In the World Cup, losing in the World Cup like your first game, bro, you fucked for real. But anyway, I think the World Cup is harder. That's just me from losing. I'm not a professional player, but I look at it from the outside. I think it's hard.
Yeah. So Copa America is starting on Thursday.
Starts Thursday. Yep.
Let's see if Messi can win it.
What's your prediction, though?
I don't know. I don't know any of the
teams.
I don't know. I'm not.
I can see. I mean, it's an American soil.
My prediction is Argentina or Brazil.
Nah,
I can see Uruguay come in the mix.
Or
I can see
Uruguay,
Uruguay.
sure.
I can see Uruguay coming something. I can't put Chile because Chile has a really old team.
That's my
That's
third pick,
rejuvenated.
Uruguay.
I see Uruguay. I see Colombia actually upsetting. Colombia has a good squad right now that people really underrated. They have young talent that's to the pipeline right now in Colombia. Ecuador. Ooh, I forgot about Ecuador. Fuck. That's another team. Actually, I'll put Ecuador as a dark horse of this Copa America.
To win it?
As a dark horse, yes. That Ecuadorian team, Ecuador is no longer, I mean, that's the new talent pool for all the big teams in Europe, Roy. Most of the Ecuadorian teams, it's safe to say most of the Ecuadorian players all play in Europe.
Honestly, I just don't know because I haven't seen any of these teams.
No,
so.
I've seen, and you go back over the World Cup performance. I mean, you saw Ecuador, what they did to the Netherlands and how the Netherlands even suffered against them. I think they have a word to say. Like
I mean,
said,
man, I'd be fucking surprised if Ecuador wins it.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I just put them as a dark horse. I think, but I can say Colombia. I give an edge to Colombia.
Colombia can win it. They've won it a bunch of times.
Yeah, because Colombia right now, I mean, they have talent right now in Europe that's kind of dominating. So I can see. I mean, like, if you ask me for my final four, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia. And I might put Ecuador on the back burner.
But that's the ranking right there. That's South America in a nutshell. Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, which is US. I don't know, bro. With Beharter, don't know.
Not a chance.
I mean, it's on their home soil, so
doesn't matter.
Know.
Doesn't matter.
They play against Bolivia. I'm like, who the fuck wants to watch that game? Somebody asked me.
There is no chance the US. Maybe there's no chance USA wins it. You can bet your house on it.
Winning
you can bet your house on it.
No. They winning it. They can't. But somebody told me today. They're like, "Yo, are you excited? USA plays Bolivia." I'm like, "That's a game that excites you? US Bolivia, really? Like, come on, bro."
I mean, I'm expecting US to go out of the group stages, but as soon as US faces one of the
US can make it to the Final Four as well. I mean, the Copa America 2016, they went to the semifinal and they lost.
Once they face Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Colombia, or even Mexico, don't underestimate Mexico. Or
no, right now they wash, Roy. I'm sorry. They're bad.
But tournament football is
tournament football right now. They're bad. Mexico is bad, bro. Mexico is so bad. Like
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they have no. I mean, listen, their most talented player, like their most talent guy, which was Chucky Lozano, is going to fucking San Diego. That's all you need to know. I watched their shit, bro.
I would never underestimate Mexico.
No, it's not even about underestimate. When a generation is poor, they're poor. Right now, USA is miles above Mexico right now. Canada actually is better than Mexico, by the way. Like the Canadians got better players than the Mexicans.
That's crazy.
That's
hard to believe. That's hard to believe.
No, it is true. Somebody in the comment, you correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, if you're Mexican, you'll ask them. The Mexicans even are against they're not satisfied with what they're seeing. They're so below level. They're so below level, and that's just what it is with this Mexican team. But I think, like I said, the team that I think they're gonna win it, I'm looking at that. I pay close attention to CONCACAF, man. Jamaican is a weird team sometimes, so they can upset some people in the group stage.
Jamaica can be a tough country.
They benefit a lot from these, non-English people that ain't get called up for the English national team. They go straight up there. Really corrupt organization, but hey, they got players to do the job.
Also, Peru, Chile, these two teams are tough.
Chile has an old squad. They haven't got a generation to be able to replace the David. I mean, the Alexis Sanchez. That's a generation since the 2010, and their peak is winning back-to-back Copa Americas, but they haven't really rejuvenate that squad. So
that team is one of my favorite football teams I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah,
but the Chile team under Bielsa that won.
Yeah, Bielsa.
But that football there, I think, is the best football I've ever seen ever.
Yeah. And what's a crazy stat with them? I learned that actually in school. One of the craziest stat was
And because, both finals, they won it on PK. And it was a study I was reading, and the study was they made sure they trained to kick the ball. And because they found that the Chileans found actually a study, and they implement that in their training for the PKs. They understood the natural position of a goalie, that a goalie, when he's diving, naturally will never dive up unless you're shooting really slow. So they train to really put it, at the corner of the goal line. So if you go back, if you watch the 2 finals, all Chile goals were top corner. And they trained and that's why they won it back-to-back, same style. And people were like, why they're so good at penalty? And it's actually a case study. If you have a chance, you go on Google, put Chile penalty kick. Yeah, put Chile penalty kick case study, and they looked, and I'm like, that is true. Because, usually PKs, a goalie usually dive low or kind of in the middle. They don't hit the corner knowing that you're going to shoot there unless I watched a lot of your videos. So
yeah,
that was there. Yep.
Yeah, their gameplay was incredible. I love the way they
was
played.
good, but they never had the new. You couldn't even tell me a Chilean top player right now in Europe. You can't name me one.
I don't follow.
So,
I'm not follow. The thing is, like, I just don't follow anymore. I've just follow Serie A and Italy. That's it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the rest.
Pulgar that used to play at Fiorentina is the last Chilean player that I know is kind of relevant. That's as close as I go.
Chrissy says, after the World Cup, Ecuador sacked their coach because he wanted a better salary because he was doing good, but they fired and hired a Qatar ex-coach. So Ecuador went backwards.
Damn. They went, shit.
Yeah. Anyway, it starts on Thursday, so we'll see. We'll see who wins.
I was trying to catch a game, but I'm not too interested. I'm actually going to go watch. When the World Cup comes here, then I'll be there at the World Cup. Copa America, not so much.
But, yeah. I'm not watching that. I mean, I don't know if I'll watch the games. I probably will because
go watch your guy Pulisic. Your boy Alexi Lalas is gonna hype the team up.
Dude, I can't.
That's your guy, Alexi Lalas. That's your guy. Who this dude is so cringe, bro.
Yeah, it's just
dude only played at Padova, bro. Like, fuck. We get it. You playing in Europe. We can't even breathe.
Yo, if USA wins the Copa America, I'm like, I'm going to
what they're going to be singing?
Stop being an Italy fan.
We will win. I believe that we will win. That's what they're going to be singing in your ear, man.
No, there's no way. It's just
why
Brazil, it's going to be the usual ones.
They can't. I mean, even the women just went backwards. Like, Europeans caught up to the women football, soccer, and I followed that a lot. And because in the past they only relied on athleticism and no tactics, and once Barcelona and all the male counterparts started investing in feminine football, that killed that really fast. And they're more technical now on the other end. So yeah, man, we'll see what US does. I mean, they have a shit coach, but amateur. But this was a mid-level MLS coach, and I'm not even praising the MLS seeing that. And he's the one that's coaching. You have a World Cup. You couldn't go for somebody like a Mourinho that's unavailable. A World Cup on your soil, go get a proper coach, at least to do something in that World Cup. You have an MLS guy. It's fucking pathetic. It's such a pathetic. And this is the US golden generation, the best generation ever, right? And it's the first generation of the US where everybody plays in Europe. Everybody.
Yeah.
From McKennie, Weah, Pulisic. I mean, you name it, Balogun. Like, this is like their most.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. What the US is doing is not sustainable. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's fuck, dude.
No, listen, we can do something, man. US can do something, man. I like the US. It's just their way of seeing soccer in America is what pisses me off, especially these officials. These officials, like, they think they want to run like the U.S. Federation, like an NFL team, and they think they can compete. You're still doing draft with the MLS. So somebody's getting drafted from college to come play college ball at 23, 24. When you got people like Endrich, the Vinicius, and they start at 16. And then you're starting professional because you got drafted out of college thinking this is basketball or NFL play. And then you wonder why you're behind. And that's what we run into, bro. So They have
I
no.
mean, the players being in Europe and playing there helps, but the culture here, dude, is
Yeah, but
so
but those
bad.
players, right?
Oh my
Yeah,
lord.
but those players are not standard. Look at somebody like fucking Pulisic. This dude in his mother's womb did a whole Europe tour in different academies. What picture? Go look at Pulisic's picture. He took a picture with this player from Barcelona. He did a trial over here. Pulisic is not the standard. You know this. He was obviously higher middle class.
No, no,
Parents
no,
could
no.
afford
Yeah,
him.
it's
And
it's a
and
players
that's
that
that part.
in Europe, like the U.S. In order for the U.S. to be competitive, they
Mhm.
have to send the federation has to send young players to Europe because if they grow in here, they're never going to be competitive. It's impossible for them to become competitive
Or
if they
what
go here.
or what they have to do also, but also is also here. One the bigger fact was we prioritize so much like the education, right? In the US you can't just drop out of school. Like it's not a thing to do. Like it's not we don't play those games like like in third world countries where you can drop out of school and just go to the academy and it's fine, right? And then play hard for the rest of your life. Here you have to kind of be in school per laws in certain states and all that. Like you can't do as you please. So that's a bit, that's a gray area. That's one thing. So that's one thing, and you gotta play every day. In other countries, people play every day. The sport can't be seasonal like how is it here? You know, here's the springtime. That's soccer time, right? Outdoors, it's spring.
And for me, it really also it really comes down to what is cannonball, right? That's what it's called. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just look at that U17 tournament that we saw not long ago. The one where come out of that one.
Yeah,
That tournament is played every year.
right.
That Euro is every year.
Mm-hmm.
That level of competition at U17 here does not exist. There's nothing even that compares.
But
Uh,
also, you're right, and
Nothing really compares.
but also the best American athletes are not in soccer. That's one thing. How do you
But
get those guys to
but
match?
I mean, athletes like what? I mean, it's what do they bring? Just because they're better
No, no, no.
athletes, so what do
But,
they
but
bring?
what I mean, athlete just in general, right? Because somebody that's naturally gifted, if at a younger age, because when you're naturally gifted,
I
it's
don't think
it's
it
within
matters.
you, right? If you're naturally gifted, you can just deviate, be like, yo, focus on this sport. You can develop with certain things.
But
You
I don't think that will change much because you're still competing against very low opposition at the end of the day. Like you still can't compete against Europe, no matter
No,
what.
no, no. But no, I agree with that piece. But I'm talking about just before we even talking about even the competition. I'm talking about the pool first, and even the pool. How do you even upgrade the competition to, like you said, Europe and all that stuff? Not a pay to play or all these things they do. I personally felt, but I found out later why they didn't even want to do that. I personally felt they should have merged all federations, but then I found out about the money deals. People in South America don't want people cut. They don't want the cut of the pie because I said like, yo, you can have Americans. They have nice facilities. It could have been the way they're doing Copa America, like a Champions League for the entire. Why the Concacaf doesn't want to come, doesn't want to associate with Conbol and all that. But then I heard is all the percentage of TV rights nobody wants to share, and I'm like, okay, I see where they're coming at. But that could have elevated if the North Americans were playing more against the South American, it would have elevated a little bit their game, and you'll get similar some type of quality. But you just want to play Mexico and these Haitian teams, and yeah, mini Champions League. Y'all playing Central America, which is poor, which Mexicans usually win, and that's why Mexican also they suck now because
Well,
that's what.
Mexico is suffering from the same problem. If
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Mexico,
saying. Because Mexico, if they're also smart, they they should have probably integrated what Australia did. Australia completely left Oceania to go to Asia to have some level of competition to join that federation. But Mexico understands if they go over there, they're not gonna have from that CONCACAF money because I think them in the US they
yeah.
get the bigger piece of the pie. So it's a money thing also with these guys at the top level, which I don't think they really care about the sport. They care about advertisement because if America goes down there to start playing with Brazil, are we gonna share our advertisers? Are we gonna share certain things? They're gonna be like, fuck no. We don't want to share with these guys, and it's all politics, man. So it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, as the way things stand now, I think the U.S. is 100 years behind
In
the.
football, yeah, in soccer, yeah, they. I think their best way to get to peak, I think, is creating a hybrid, having a hybrid, a hybrid model where it can reach peak it might not be crazy quality, but it can do something with it. With what they're doing, export more players to Europe. I think what Dallas is doing and what New York FC is doing, I think that's probably one of the best hybrid models. You go to these academies, they're owned by these European teams, and then you end up there.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. I
And
mean, listen,
that's the best way.
I think if the U.S. really wants to become and then this will never happen, but this is just so. How many states are there? 52 states, right? So each state would have to develop a team where the whole fucking state is behind the team, and it becomes like part of the culture. And then you have, all demographics really pursue football, and kind of like those rivalries. California versus Arizona, Arizona versus Texas, and it become like a cultural thing. Then there, the competition, there might be a lot of iron sharpening iron there, but that's not the way it is. It'll never be like that.
And also the relegation thing. Somebody put the relegation thing would never come in America. I'll give you for two reasons. Number one, the main reason is most of these MLS teams are also owned by other owners. That's one thing in other sports, right? Which doesn't occur over there, so they don't care. They're not gonna lose money on that. Number two is soccer is not the popular sport in America, so therefore it's not a passion project where it's gonna be, I'm gonna set for my team to get relegated and bring that culture here. Here's about money. It takes a lot of money to pay in to come in, even to you gotta pay your way in to the MLS. By the way, you don't have a little mini club like the Wrexham and then you start developing and you get promoted. There's none of that. These people spend billions of dollars. A lot of investors are there. Those investors, those shareholders, they don't watch the sport. They don't want to hear anything about no relegation. They're not going to lose money. They're not going to volunteer on we want to keep up with the Europeans. That's not going to bring dollar in their pockets. Unless you're telling them they're going to pay them more money if they get relegated, that's another story. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's too late. The culture didn't develop that way.
The culture didn't develop, and it's not going to happen. And even, it's so hard. I mean, look, they want to bring an MLS team in Vegas. Look how much money they invested in that Vegas dome or whatever. Like, you bring that team in Vegas, where you think I'm gonna get relegated, go play with the USL? They're not gonna do that. In America, we have a second division. Our second division is a feeder club. That's where it stops.
Yeah, USL.
They care about the money. Like, money is the biggest thing, man. They're never gonna put themselves in losing money for anything. So
anyway, I don't think the US is going to win the Copa America. If they do, I'll be very surprised. All right, Clint.
It's late here.
I'm going to close. Thank you for joining today. Really appreciate it. Let's see what happens tomorrow with the news with Leão, Hernandez, Xerxes, Fonseca.
I'm not going to be here, though. I'm being in Vegas for an entire week.
Oh, shit.
I'm not so I'm probably not going to really be on the lives yet.
Are you going to put your savings on the line or what?
Oh, no, I'm not doing none of that, bro.
Come on.
Then I have to deal with the mob. That would be
clean. This is your chance.
What?
Quadruple or nothing.
But then I'm going to put Milan on the fucking line. I'm be like, I own a club. Get Milan fake papers, and they're going to end up on Milanello. Be like, hey.
That's the collateral.
That's the collateral. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, exactly.
Where are you going in Vegas?
I'm be at a conference. So that's
okay. Oh, it's a business. Okay.
Yeah. So, but
where are they setting you guys up?
They already know, man. The main spots, boy.
The MGM.
I want to get my location. I don't want somebody running up on me over there, but
no doxing. No doxing.
Yeah, I want nobody doxing.
Wait. Okay. Are you on the Strip or what?
I don't know. I've never been there, by the way. So.
Oh, you never been there?
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be.
I've been in Vegas many times.
Of course you did. You probably in speed limit when Milan pissed you off, or you want to take your anger out on Fulani. You go to blackjack. You go to fucking blackjack when you want to take your anger out.
No, I don't gamble. I don't gamble, dude.
Okay, good.
No. Okay. I like roulette. I think roulette is a great game.
You don't want to Sandro Tonali. That would be a good place for Tonali.
Oh, he would love it.
The day I hear Tonali gets a transfer to LA Galaxy, then I know what I need to think.
That's right.
I know exactly why he's here.
I love poker, Hold'em, Texas Hold'em.
Oh,
That's a great. I fucking love that, and I'm pretty good at it too. But I love roulette too. I don't gamble much, bro. I mean, I have a little bit, but I'm not.
That's an addiction. That's like a demon for real, bro. People that in it, oof,
I don't find it interesting. Yeah.
that's like drug addicts, people playing online. I seen people playing at work. It's like, God damn, bro. Like, but anyway, yeah, man. So, but I'll be watching the Euro, so we'll get back. Hopefully, we hear good news. We'll see.
All right, man. Well,
All right,
have a
all
good
right,
trip.
I'll let you,
Peace
man.
out. All right, guys, everybody in chat, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Click the like, subscribe, to all that good stuff. Let's see what the news brings tomorrow. Other than that, have a good time, good day, wherever you are. Houston Dynamo signed Ezequiel Ponce, Argentinian striker. So MLS moving up. Yeah. Okay, guys, have a good one. Peace.